If you watch freaking Avengers, right? If I started the whole thing with like Thanos coming and just gone, like you lose the plot. It's completely not fun. Even if I give you the climax, you kind of have to show them the cool stuff and then retain them all the way to there.
You see this actually being employed not only in music but in people's video like Mr. Beast. It's actually technically the same thing, but then how you like translate from one genre to another.
Oh, the human condition is interesting. How people consume modern media. Very interesting.
Yesterday I was like looking at your story. You was jamming with like band or something like that, right? Yeah. What was that? Is that like a recording a new project or it's just like a random?
No, that was just like, Ben and I have like Ben has a lot of shows, so we always just rehearse. So normally we'll just get a band together and then we just kind of rehearse. Hey, this song, that song, get this together and stuff like that. So it's kind of like a revisit. Every time you see a rehearsal means there's a show coming up, usually within a month or two. So you see those Insta stories and you're like, hey, Ben got a show coming up.
Yeah, I realized that whenever a singer do a show, right, it's definitely much more complicated than, let's say, a DJ that does a show. DJ, you just go down there, plug your thumb drive, and then like it's probably done.
Dude,
Yeah.
I 100% agree with you. That is why, right? I think for you guys, it's such a great like I don't know how to put this in a nice. It's so easy to kind of travel because your footprint is small. You're able to run and react fast. Not say that your job is easier, no, but it's just
more mobile.
It's mobile.
Yeah.
For us, right, we need to plan. I mean, not discounting any of the efforts that you guys take to prep your set, which is like a whole freaking artwork in itself, right? But like the Camelot wheel is insane. But like it's insane. It's crazy. But like, oh my god, like with the band, like you have to prepare like the scores, sometimes the lyrics, like the backing vocal charts, every single instrument chart sometimes. But the band usually at this point of time just have a general one and it's good. And then you have to rehearse a few times, work on a few live moments, like kind of like our remixes, right?
So that's spontaneous a bit.
Add some interesting flair here, plan how long band's gonna talk, then it adds up to a full set as compared to just playing songs straight up.
Sabrina Carpenter ending.
Yeah. Like a venue specific quip, that kind of a thing. So much more prep work and of course more cost. Each head, and imagine if you tour, each head is like every flight, and hotel fee, and insurance, and then visa.
Yeah. So, would you say that is these like kind of like hold venues back from booking live acts? Like live acts sort of like become harder to book because it will definitely cost more.
I think I don't think it holds them back, but it's such a huge cost that I think
they have to make it work.
Yeah, I think largely personally for me, if I was a venue owner, it'd be such a P&L based business. I must be either break even or be in the green, and I need to be incentivized enough to make all that administrative paperwork happen. On top of, the song list, but everything else I mentioned before, which is already a lot of man hours and additional money that you don't get to you will have to recoup, which is like. I can imagine the amount of pressure like a festival organizer has to do. On top of that, so you have to do could be alcohol, licenses,
the timing,
clear the songs also with the lyrics, the topic, and can you imagine if it's a festival, so many other acts.
Yeah,
and then the merch.
To clear the songs, is it through like campus or something?
I think their own performance rights organizations law. Every
song you perform, you must like sort of pay the artist before you can like perform it. Or they have like a bundle deal or something.
From what I know, you typically will have like kind of like each festival, each venue, let's say at a mall, let's say for Compass in this case, for us, a local PRO, performance rights organization, usually will probably come up with a fee based on a number of times, a number of plays, the venue, blah, blah, blah. I don't know what the factors are, but there's a particular like fee involved. So I'm assuming that most festivals will also kind of need to cover that, they have to declare the songs .
Yeah, like clubs like Zouk and Marquee also have to It's like a live performance thing. Yeah, and some more like individually the group members, right, they have to be quite accomplished as musician also because it's like a band, right? Everybody must know their shit also.
Dude, yeah. Can you imagine? It's so insane. Like I was just talking to like Ben and some of the band members, like it's insane. Can you imagine you have to play at this level of musicianship, right? On top of that, if you tour all the different venues, time zones, if the place is colder or hotter, your hands, your limbs will work differently. Can you imagine to consistently perform at freaking like some prog musicians, jazz musicians, whatever musicians, like those crazy technical ones? Can you imagine country for a tour? Oh my god.
Go to Alaskan tour.
Yeah. Dude, like yeah, because like when last time when I was touring with A-Mei, like some of the guitarists, Singapore guitarists, like shout out like Iza, Simon, and even Xiaorong, the drummers, they use their finger and they cannot wear gloves, right? And they go up on set and we are like, it's winter. We went in December. Although it's in the west, it's still cold. Can you imagine going there like?
But how? Like then you like there's a heat cream or something.
Oh yeah, so they every set, if you see them just kind of like that, right? Because they have hand warmers on their jeans,
hand warmers,
or in their butts, right? They will just go. It's not posing because they're cool, or like we are just like you see me like that, or just like that. It's like they're like hand warmers. Like
there's just one hand warmer here,
dude. It's like stuck in there. I'm just like, oh, Evan's cool guy. No man, I'm just cold. I'm just dying. I'm a Singaporean, dude. It's cannot.
Well, tell us a little bit more about like touring with A-Mei, man. That's like crazy, yeah. As I was like, reading up about like your activities, right? Then I was like, hey, tour with A-Mei, yeah. Has been like a yearly recurrence, right?
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, and then I'm like listening to the old songs, and I'm like, wow, shit, man, go walk down memory lanes, yeah,
dude.
And that's like you every day for that period,
bro. It's a fucking blessing, man. Like, I'll tell you like a full circle story in a moment, but oh my god, like, it's a dream. It's like listening to karaoke every other show, which is
and every song everybody know how to sing.
Yeah, and can you imagine like it's like 20 to 50,000. I think 20 to 30,000 people.
I heard Ben Kheng say she can host like 7 days in a row, every day packed, that kind of thing.
Dude, yeah. So our first tour, the beginning of the tour, which is at the end of the COVID period in Singapore, I think 2021. We played at the Taipei Taipei Arena, 12 shows. All sold out, which is
days after day after day, consecutive.
Like 2 shows, 3 shows, then 1 day wait, 1 day break, that kind. So maybe 2 shows, 1 break, 3 shows, 1 break. And it's like every show is like 20, 30,000 people.
What the fuck?
Dude, like it's insane. And it's like it's a fun fact that this is public news, by the way. It's just like A-Mei, because there was an incident, and I think I don't know how much I should say this, but anyway, you check online lah. But anyway, it's like basically they have as part of the merch or part of our crew shirts, right?
Like a A-Mei t-shirt.
Yeah, our shirts, right? Like the tour. At the back it says, "No jumping. Do not jump."
No jumping.
No jumping.
Wait, this shirt is what? The staff one or give to the fans one?
No, it's part of our staff merch.
Okay.
Staff uniform that we
t-shirt.
wear. So look as you're part of the crew lah.
Yeah.
And there's signage and like LED wall projections of different animals that jump and says no jumping.
Oh.
Why? It is because a long time ago she got about I think a few years back. Like I need to check this. I need to proof check.
It's like a Travis Scott moment.
Yeah, so in the past, she managed to, what she did was, I think, the audiences, not she, but the audiences were so enthusiastic that she jumped up and down. They jumped up and down. Can you imagine that sheer amount of people? It caused the neighboring buildings to shake as well. Yeah. So as part of some precautionary measures, I think it was very tasteful. I don't know how much it is because I'm just a small part in this all, right? And it's not my part to say. But I think it's a very tactful moment that they kind of did it to say, don't jump.
Right.
Which is, I think, it's of course a very very tactful way to just tell audiences I hate you.
Yeah.
Go easy.
Would you say this is like a good problem to have?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think it's a very tasteful moment. Can you imagine if you are at a prime, you're at such a high level of fandom and love, right? The fans love you so much that they actually cause a
ripple in the space-time continuum.
Not so much, but I'm assuming I do not know the structural or the architectural integrity of some of the buildings around the area.
Okay.
I do not know Taipei that well, but I'm assuming that there's some factors to play into that lah.
Maybe you can try Singapore. If Singapore kena, that means like wow, that's quite a strong.
I understand why, but dude, it's but aside from that, oh my gosh, it's such a honor. It's to hear, because this is a full circle moment, meaning, right, when I'm 30, turning 35 this year. Oh my god.
Oh my god, then we are all the same age. Damn it. Oh, that means you're older than me 1 year. This year, 89, right?
89,
Ben is 90.
Yeah.
90, okay.
Yeah. So, I'm 35, but when I was like in my poly years, it was like 18, I think 17 to 19, there, I think, I can't remember.
The clubbing age.
Yeah, thereabouts. Things were murky when he was young and vibrant and eager to prove a lot of things. Back then, I was just a coffee boy. I was just an intern, and back
where?
then, at this they would call it A-Mei, music instrument rental company. I think called BMC, and we were hosting then the Singaporean band who was A-Mei's sessionist for then that those bands that were rehearsing. And then I was just there because BMC has in the past have a big rehearsal place and they could host them. The band was rehearsing, not A-Mei, and I was helping out, just helping out.
In Singapore, the band is rehearsing in Singapore to perform in Taiwan.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah. Back then it was almost like a full Singapore entourage for the core band, the drummer, keyboardist, bassist, right. Works. So I was in there and I was serving coffee, getting cai fan orders, calling cables, that kind of, that kind of intern work.
The sushi master climbing up, started from the bottom, now we're here.
Yeah, so it was crazy. I looked at them rehearse and I was just like, I was telling my fellow intern, like from Singapore Poly back then, wow, wouldn't it be crazy that one of these days we could be there? And then it didn't sink in. I totally forgot, right? Until like a few shows in. Then I was sitting there, I was like, oh shit, this is it. Then I went back after that. Everyone, hey, want to go like have a drink, like just like one drink, celebrate, go back and then rest. I was like, no. Then I went back to the room. I was like crying. I sat in the bathtub, just like.
That was like this year.
Huh?
This year.
Oh no, that was 2021, I think, or 2022.
The first day you toured with A-Mei.
The first month-ish lah. When it really sank in, then I just like sat in the bathtub with a glass of wine, just like, oh my god, I'm here. That's crazy. Oh my god. Like I wouldn't have imagined. So like, whoa, what an incredible feeling. And it's like, wow, I'm damn grateful because I'm the third generation of Singaporeans to play for A-Mei. Third generation band. There's been, I think, 3 versions thereabouts of the band.
I can like ask so many questions about A-Mei thing, but let's start with something like very interesting that Benjamin Kheng raised.
What he say now?
All right.
What you want? So handsome, you want to talk cock.
Yeah, so he said that A-Mei is like a Taiwanese artist, but the band is all Singaporeans for generation after generation. Is there like a particular reason why is that the case?
I think it's partially because the music director, Martin Tang, shout out, he is Singaporean.
Still currently?
Yes, he still is.
For A-Mei?
Yeah.
Okay.
He has been with A-Mei since the beginning.
Oh.
Like when
the first song.
Yeah, when they first signed her.
Damn.
When he first signed her, which is insane. And I think it's just part of that because I think when Martin, I guess if I were to think it pragmatically, I am just speculating.
Yep.
Like if I were to tour and I'm gonna assemble a band, maybe before I fly and once I sort out these arrangements, it would be good to work with some guys on the ground here before I fly off.
Since his base is here, right? Right.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure what the exact reason is, but I'm assuming that could be one of the easier reasons. Wow. And I guess the tradition kind of moved on. But I think, I'm really glad. I think, and each one of these generations have kind of proven, their worth. And I must also, I must also shout out A-Mei, because, oh my god, she also includes, it's very inclusive. Because the brass and the string section are Taiwanese. The lighting crew I remember last time was Japanese, lights and I think lasers. The front of house engineer was the first one when I was touring with was originally Prince's front of house engineer, which is insane.
Princess, what the hell?
Yeah, from the States. Crazy guy, learned so much. The lead guitarist Larry Basilio, a legend. She is based in LA. Insane. And now the current batch, there's also a bunch of, I can't remember their names because I haven't joined this leg of tour yet. There are a bunch of Japanese guitarists as well. So, and insane. So I think it's incredible. It's
How
not.
she coordinate if the language of the song is different? It's a Mandarin, right?
I mean, it took a while for us.
Singaporean also like,
Yeah, my Chinese wasn't good, dude. I was so stressed.
Yeah.
And I felt I was going to disappoint everyone because like my mom's a Chinese tutor, man. And like I'm gonna go and my Chinese was ass. Like ass. I failed like higher Chinese. Then my mom's like, oh, look at you now, you're gonna go Taiwan, right? And I was like, oh fuck. Fuck. It's like worst nightmare. You have no idea how many times I go and watch like these like Netflix Chinese movies. Don't know what. I try to incentivize myself. Listen to Zhou Jielun. Go watch like I don't know Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. I don't know, man. I tried, dude. But anyway, back to it. I think that's probably why. I do not know. I have to ask Martin. But I'm grateful we're still around, man. 3 generations, and this has been what since 2009? At least from the time I was around 2006, 2009.
But in Taiwan they speak Hokkien, right?
Yeah.
Mainly
Thai. Is it called Thai? I believe
I
it's
think
called
it's
Thai.
Thai, right?
Yeah.
Oh, the other day I was like hosting a group of Malaysian DJ collective, and then they are better at their Mandarin, right? And they speak a little bit of like Hokkien, and my Hokkien is like better than my Chinese, so I'm like screwed lah. And then when they speak to me in Chinese, then I like sometimes I reply in Hokkien. So it's like, do you have that moment? Do you speak Hokkien better also?
No.
Or you don't speak Hokkien at all?
I mean, I am of Hokkien descent, but
yeah, lor.
the only
We just know the bad word.
Yeah, the bad words. The culture dies with us, Patrick. It dies with us.
Oh my god.
No, but it's
Yeah,
great.
yeah.
I mean, but I think it's great. There's a lot of similarities. And I think one of the proudest moments of that I felt we represented our our dialect is when I did that song Shiga She during the color show called Rainy Day. We sampled basically T on and he rapped in Hokkien / Thai. It's a mix, and then Mandarin and English. Wow, I was so proud.
So with his like kopi o, xiu dai, Milo day on.
Yeah. There's a
teh冰 不要忘了还有一杯
Milo. Best drinks, man, in the world. So like there's a bit of evolution there, which I love lah.
Crazy, dude. Yeah.
Great guy. So great.
So back to A-Mei, right? So maybe you can explain like what is your role in the band? Are you like a conductor or a show producer or
So on the tour, I was just a guy called playback engineer. So what I do is just a very fancy iTunes, Spotify player.
DJ lah, basically.
On top of that, I send a bunch of stuff. Sometimes we send lighting time code, which is like we send stuff, an audio file that lighting can kind of pick up and at a certain time in the song, and then they can plan their lasers and their visuals around it. I also send click and cues. So like if you see those guys with the in-ears, right, it's not just like the music.
It's like a Nash D and Shiga She kind of synergy, right?
Yeah. So and then there's a lot of internal like metronome timing counts. They tell you, okay, this is part of the song.
Right.
This is the speed of the song. So that's a lot of the stuff that I plan inside.
The playback that you play is not even -1s, right? It's like stripped down stems, and then the musicians will play the rest of the part.
Yes. Stems. I mean, and before that, prior to the show, thanks to Martin, he got me to arrange some songs.
Okay.
Like, oh my god, like it's a dream come true. But like but on the tour, it was just playback.
Okay.
Glorified Spotify player.
But when you trigger, right? Do you like, for example, I'm the guitarist on stage with A-Mei, and then right, do I just listen to the playback, or I have the playback and the click in my ear?
Yes,
it's both, right?
Yeah. So in your in-ears, you'll hear the most likely, typically, it's like a MMO, right? MMO, instrumental lah, or sometimes with backing vocals. Then the rest of the instruments live on stage with you,
right? And
metronome with metronome, and of course A-Mei. And then each musician will have different levels, like how loud they want, how soft they want. They will customize to their liking.
Okay.
Yeah. So typically they have a mix of that, which is pretty cool.
Do you also like do like the taugeh for the scores or that kind of thing?
No. We had over 30 plus songs. I don't want to do that.
Done were the days where you are the taugeh guy.
Yeah, dude. Like, I mean, preparing the stems, can you imagine it's 30 over songs, and each stem is like not just like drums whole, bass whole. It's like kick, snare, hi-hat.
Yeah.
Violin 1, violin 2,
Kick
viola.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Could be.
Yeah.
It took a while. So I'm like, no, I'm good with the tailgate. Please let me like sort out my project session. Like, it's like, okay.
Right. So most of your work is like behind the scenes. Yeah. And then when you are there, it's like, okay, you're so prepared already. It's like really just like triggering.
Usually you are right. Typically, if our job is all is well, things is just more or less just go. But some instances, for example, if the heat of the moment, or for example the vibe of the audience is crazy, sometimes for example the band will speed up, or the singer might slow down, then sometimes
and the
I need
metronome how?
So sometimes I need to maybe stop, maybe nudge it in front, slow it down.
Do you like use a jog wheel to nudge it forward, or you like click?
Oh yeah, I have like a MIDI controller, so I can nudge it forward by a little bit, nudge it back a little bit. I have a panic button where I immediately fade out everything, catch where they are in a bar.
Jump cue.
Yeah, jump cue, go. And
Dude,
then go.
you are a DJ, man.
It's kind of like a DJ.
Exactly what we do,
It
man.
is. It is kind of like
but
a
you're
DJ.
like syncing to a live band, and their timing is so fluid. They are not fixed, Wow, it's even more difficult.
But it's beautiful because they are fluid, and then that's the beauty.
They can sometimes come back without you doing anything.
Yeah, and that's the beauty of it, which is incredible, and I think it's really fun because you feel like a musician. You're like sitting there, like kind of like pushing and pulling with them, having a bit of conversation. It's woo! It's fun. You don't get to hear that. Sometimes you're in a room and you plan, and then you're like, okay.
Almost like telepathic. They know, and then you nudge everybody,
Which is great.
Yeah.
Because especially like with friends like Xia Rong, the drummer, like I've played since like when we were indie. So like I can like sometimes like catch on to what he's trying to do. And like, okay. Like I can maybe like, try to anticipate or move back and like push and pull with him, which is so fun. Makes the job very fun. But of course, usually nothing happens. But sometimes things happen, then I have to be prepared to, switch it up. Or sometimes, one thing that's, I'm not sure it's similar to DJ is we have redundancy, which is like a main computer and a clone that's playing the same thing twice.
The clone play twice?
We are playing two laptops, same project, A and B, same. Running simultaneously. So one fails, it immediately swaps to the other.
Oh, damn.
Yeah. So we have a redundancy. Shit? Yeah, it's got redundancy playback system. Then if it fails, let's say it overheats or somebody pull out a cable, it immediately swaps to the other. Right. So our job is also to monitor that.
Right. I wouldn't say it is so big scale because you are like synchronizing like maybe like 20 people on stage or something like that, right? So your system, that's how you do the redundancy. But for us, it's like maybe we only have like 4 CDJ players, and then if 2 fails, then we have another 2. Yeah, that's about it. It's not too major.
But the concept is similar.
Too major, yeah. Ours is like more scaled down, but obviously, there are certain DJs like Cashmere or Rufus Du Sol, which is like Grammy award-winning electronic dance music, Odessa or whoever, right? They have like a live band concept with electronic. Then that one will be like more within your kind of realm. Yeah.
It's quite fun, I must say. It's I didn't expect this. I didn't expect to be doing this for my job, which is like, who would think, right? So it's crazy. A 16-year-old me wouldn't have anticipated this.
Yeah, and when you are like backstage, right? How do you like? Is there a way for you to communicate with people on stage? Like you can talk into their
yes,
right?
Yeah, I have a talkback mic.
Right. But they cannot talk to you back, right?
Oh,
they also have also.
Yeah, they have their own private mic. They will go straight to me.
Right.
Not to the crowd.
If there's something wrong, right, and then A-Mei need to tell someone, right? How does she do it, like covertly, like without letting the audience know that there's an issue?
Yeah, there's always a guy by the corner, and I think
or she'll signal the guy or something. Okay.
I do not know if she has this. I don't vaguely recall what's the. There might be some other solutions, but usually there's always a guy on standby. Usually in a monitor world situation where they will be able to be. They'll always have someone to attend to her.
It's kind of like a stage manager type situation, right?
Somewhat.
Right. Yeah. Wow, because this is like so big scale. Like I'm trying to like visualize.
It's quite a kampong.
Yeah.
Which is insane. We're just a small part of it, but what a trip! It's been great.
And another thing is like this. Other than the fact that she's like basically Taiwanese Taylor Swift, right? Or like like an OG, right?
Yeah,
Like
Whitney,
they can sell
yeah.
out any concert. How is it possible that it is sold out so consistently and like every single year? Is there like some marketing magic behind it or something? I mean, even Mariah Carey also, I don't think hold this much power.
Really?
Really, if you think about it, dude.
Do you think Mariah Carey will hold this amount of power in the States?
I don't think so.
Okay,
man.
I don't know, because it amazes me lah. Because like for if May, even when she plays for the in the States when you tour, it's also packed.
What the fuck?
Yeah, I mean, of course the Chinese community comes out in strength lah.
Yeah,
But it's incredible,
yeah,
right?
yeah. It's crazy, man.
I don't know.
Wait, she got new releases or not?
Oh, I do not know how recent the recent one is, but there are
Every
new
year
songs.
got new songs.
I do not know how recent lah, but there are new songs. I do not know if this year or last year have, but there are new songs. But okay, my theory could be just observing from patterns, right? Is the audience that have grown up with her are also now grown ups and now
More
have
spending power.
purchasing power. Correct. They can buy and they can afford. And I think not just one generation grew up with her, generations have grown up with her. She's like I think definitely older than us, right? About a decade or two. So that's a few generations in already. And these people have grown up with a lot of these classics. I mean, I'm imagining like let's say, let's think of someone that's close to be an evergreen name. So let's say like Adele.
Yeah.
I would say down the road when she is a
20
little
years
bit,
later.
yeah, I would assume she would still sing Someone Like You, Set
Yeah.
Fire to the Rain, that kind of classic, evergreen classics, which I think A-Mei has, even like Jackie Chung, right?
Yeah.
In the Mandopop market, just carved out this crazy like space for themselves. They're like, they are around. They are always being called on for in the karaoke songs. They're always queued up.
Yeah.
I would think so lah.
How would you compare someone like A-Mei to like maybe like Jay Chou? Is Jay Chou like kind of like retired already?
I have no idea, dude. Like I'm very English.
Yeah.
I love English music. So
Same.
I mean, I acknowledge the Chinese in me, but I need to do more homework about my culture, man. Fuck. But like I'm not sure, because I would think Jay would have that kind of power as well, right?
But he never come out as often as A-Mei, right? To perform shows, I think.
I think I don't know, just observing, because I do not know the rest, but it's very clear when I see A-Mei on stage. She loves to perform. And I think that pulls back to, I mean, if we go back into her history, she was a singer that enjoyed playing in the public for people. And this still transcends up to now, even at this scale. So man, I mean, I would think she just she's back here with us, because she just loves to play, which is astounding. And that level of musicianship is crazy.
Yeah, like
can you
even
imagine
for
3 hours there? 3 hours.
I want to talk to you about that. Like
Crazy.
3 hours. How? Like I mean,
I was sitting for the whole show. I was so tired. I don't know how she. It's incredible. It's incredible.
12 shows back to back.
Yeah, I'm 35. I should be more like. I should have stamina. I should have a better back.
She's like 50 plus, right? She.
I need to check.
51, 52 maybe.
Doesn't look
Yeah, doesn't look
very young.
Yeah.
But then, wow, my back's already like giving out, even sitting on the chair. I'm like, how are you doing it?
She got like take Red Bull or something.
I don't know, man. What's the secret sauce? I don't know.
Yeah,
but maybe coffee. I don't know. A lot of coffee. I don't know. I don't know.
But when it comes to like performers, right, be it singers or DJs, right, there's also like two kinds. It's like one is either prefer the composing or the production or the songwriting. Then another one is just more focused on the performing. Yeah. But how would you look at like someone like A-Mei, right, and like think about like her maybe like her musicianship lah, not just about like performance flair, because it actually is two very different things, you know. Yeah,
she is great. I think having cut her teeth right when she was young. I think just performing that ear, that sensitivity is so good. Which I think is beautiful, because I know a lot of people like to stay quantized or to the grid. A lot of people would think the traditional, let's say the traditional upright way, right? Everything should be okay if you're on the grid. But I think but the beauty of of music, especially once we play more of it, it's the flow, right? The ebb and flow, the push and pull of the groove, which I think she can really capture and really like can sense what the audience needs, and she really knows how to play with tension and release. And that I think it shows in her records, but also I think it's even more beautiful live because you get to feed off the musicians with you on stage, and then also like
30,000.
Yeah, and you can see that. I said maybe not see them. You know, when you play on stage, you can like it's just a sea of black and but you can feel it, and it's an incredible skill set to have, and
low key like read the crowd already.
Yeah, which is it's incredible. Which I think is really cool. That I think a great live performer and a great DJ needs to have. The vibe check is so crucial, and I think it's so transferable. Which I think that's why I do think DJs are really good at this, and I think it's something that we as fellow performers also kind of need to understand. Yeah, I do hope one day I can do that also, like some nowadays. When we perform on stage, we have a structured set list, but I do hope that we can kind of like,
we can DJ on the spot. Well, the live band.
We can lah, and I actually think like since I'm music directing band now, I know the band is capable of doing it, but I have not tried, but I should probably.
Only more rehearsal. Definitely,
Maybe.
To play the song is one. To improvise the order is also another one.
Yeah.
Because the transition also, right? You all care about the transition also.
Yeah. So that one is also another whole nut to crack.
Yeah. So BPM change or transposition or
you have to make sure the key is also like somewhat okay. The tempo somewhat okay.
Yeah.
I feel you, man. Yeah, really, really cool.
Nuts, man. Wow, this DJing thing, I've like so much to say, but I don't even know what to go about. Maybe we can like just start from kind of like the beginning, because both of us we are from SP, So,
yeah, man.
So coincidental, and then you are like from DMAT, and then that's where Nash D is from.
Yeah, legend.
Music. Yeah,
legend.
And then I don't know, were you like raised in a household where they encourage you to do music, or was like not the case?
I was a very typical Asian Singaporean household, brought up in a very
Chinese
typical
tuition teacher.
Yeah. My mom became a Chinese tuition teacher later in the years. Later when I'm more like maybe teenager. But I think for me, it was very typical. I asked for the piano lessons because I heard Richard Clayderman and Yenny being played on TV. But I think in the past, resources weren't that available, right? So this early 1990s, right? Yeah, no YouTube, nothing. So the most rational, logical approach for a kid who wants to learn music is classical piano.
Yeah.
So I did that. And of course, I had a hate-love relationship with it, which of course led me to Singapore Poly and discover who I really was. I picked up drums there, learned all these different stuff. So I think then there was where I found who I really wanted to be, or what I found joy in music. Like rediscovered my joy outside of the typical, the normal. I would say like the more not normal, but the more logical approach when it comes to building your supposed music interests back then, because resources were much more limited, or rather than knowledge or available to tap into it.
Accessibility.
Yeah, not like now. So it's just okay. Last time it's like no internet, phone call. Hey, you got piano teacher now? That kind.
Yeah.
And that's how it began, So it was a very, very typical origin story. And it's also like later down the years also because I want to go and chase Tabo, then I play all these songs and learn all these instruments. It's very difficult. It's very difficult.
The other day I was talking to Z, man, the Disco Hugh Z. And then he's like, the same story, man.
Dude, it's I swear, it's just all about impressing the girls. Then you find out actually
maybe that's why it's so many DJs, I was wondering.
In the end, I realized I need to fall in love myself first. Then I can fall in love, and then teach how to love. Wow, philosophical.
Wow.
But yeah, it was a lot more about.
Recently you had this like I don't know what was an interview or podcast also. Then you were talking about I thought you play music can get chicks, but hey shit, I never get chicks, man. But I got a wife.
I got too geeky into it, and that's the main thing of my stupid interests. I just get too geeky into it, and then the girls that dates like this guy is. what's he talking about? He seems excited, but not at me. Then oh man, I fucked up.
Evan, what time you gonna reach? 4:04, man. Different timing.
Yeah. But I'm happily married now, so
yeah. So how's
God.
married life, man? Actually, yeah.
Wow,
Is it like change your life drastically, or actually status quo? Actually, quite cool. How is it like?
Dude, I think I'm really fortunate because I got my degree overseas. And I managed to,
Yeah, we can come back to that, man. That's crazy, dude.
Yeah, we can talk about that.
We can talk about that.
But I think because of that, I have a few good years of my developmental stage. What's wrong with me?
We are spamming the words too fast.
Yeah. Well, basically where I'm really truly becoming myself, right? Where I was able to live on my own, discover who I was, interact with people my own age group, and to be independent besides from being in the army, right? So I think it's really interesting. So I really got to live in myself, know my needs and wants, and of course, back then have partners, and stayed in this independent mindset. So now I was able to understand what I wanted. So when I came back, I think I also had a good idea of how I wanted to live. So, and I think it's great that my wife is also more or less the same, independent on her own. So when we came in, it's not as if it's like a blank canvas. We knew how to kind of more or less.
Did she also go overseas then come back or something like that?
Yeah, a few exchange programs, I think. Well, she's just very well traveled, lah. So and I think it's great that we're both independent. So when we came together and built our own little space, right? It's not like oh shit, what do we do? Who's going to do the laundry or I mean, of course, that still needs to be discussed. But it's a lot more structured, a lot more clear. We know how our demands are like. So thank God, I need structure in my life. As a musician, oh my God, we always work till God knows when. So it doesn't end. So it's good that I have a bit of structure, lah. It's been great. It's been great. Really, I love structure.
But then when you say that about needs, right? Like when you are overseas and then you learn more about yourself, do you actually have to work a part-time job while you are pursuing your degree in music?
Oh hell yeah.
Need to, right? When you are overseas.
Yeah.
So you are studying and then you apply a job because a S pass or something like that.
Yeah. We kind of more or less have to work in the school-ish.
Work in the school.
Work at the school. Because we are on student visa, so we can't exactly make money. But we can, if it's we can apply at the school. That kind of mitigates that. Stuff like that.
So how's the payment scheme like? If you work for the school, just to pay your school fees?
No. I can't remember exactly what the deal was. It's murky. But okay, I
work in exchange for food.
No lah, what's that? Oh my God. But
jialat.
Okay. Typically, I'll admit why I don't remember this is because most of my time, thank God, I have a bit of work back in Singapore.
Yeah.
So usually I was able to kind of get paid-ish in Singapore for work. Why is also good because in the US I was in Boston. It was 12 hours away. So when at 2 a.m. is 2 p.m. at my time. When they sleep, I work. And when I sleep, they get the file. So no time is wasted. So that dynamic has been really fun for some of the old songs, arrangements, whatever things mixes I was doing. It was actually quite alright, quite manageable.
Wow, nice.
Quite interesting.
Yeah, you can get a side hustle back in your own country while pursuing the degree in US.
Yeah, but I was really lucky lah. I had a few friends who needed me. No lah, we just grow with our own kampong lah, grew up together. So lucky they treasured me lah. I'm grateful.
Really, when I was I forget who the hell I was talking to. Is it Nash D or someone? I talked to so many people over this podcast, right? And then we're talking about support local. Last time, when during the pre-COVID days, when we were doing Sam Willow's Grizzle Grind crew, that era, right? And then we were talking about support local. But actually, if you think about it, right, we have been preaching about support local for so long, right? But till now, it still never really happened. But what it eventually evolves into, right? It starts to evolve into more of support your friends. Yeah, it becomes more of that. Yeah, so I think it's more difficult for us to convince Singaporeans to support local, but the very least they can support their own friends. Yeah, I think that's how we should kind of like sell it.
Dude, I had this conversation like not too long ago, like maybe last week. I think I don't think the point is to support local or create a whole campaign around it. I know, don't kill me, please. That's not the point. I think the point is
support dope shit, man.
Support dope shit.
Yeah.
If the song is cool, support it. If the artist is cool, if the work is cool, support it. Just because it's cool. I don't need to rally around a banner for just for a particular cause. I mean, I'm sure there are causes that we need to revolve around a banner for. Excuse me, but like, dude, like,
cannot be the main thing lah. It cannot be a agenda.
Just I can't hold you to the gun and say, "Hey, Singapore music, you support now." You know, like. No lah, it's just like, oh yo, that guy has a cool thing going on. Like, or like, oh my god, that track is crazy, check it out. That's it. And usually those hypes, those excitement lasts longer than those force-fed situation lah.
It's like slower the engagement, but then over the long period it goes. The trajectory is but then those force-fed like
yeah, exactly. So I think, like you said, support cool shit. Stuff is cool, that's it.
But then I realized, right, especially in Asian culture, Singapore specifically, right, it's like, hey, I don't like this guy, I'm not gonna support him, you know? It's very cliquish. You don't care about whatever industry. It can be DJ, can be like actually even the West, they are not like innocent, you know. Look at Kanye West. Yeah, how many people like boycott him? Right. Just because of his like certain behavior. But I really respect people like Lex Freeman, which is the podcaster, right? He's like this like machine learning scientist engineer that got Kanye West on his podcast. And then it's a very interesting like 3-hour podcast. And then you see like how Kanye West, right, is like so defensive, right? And then he goes through a whole entire journey of the 3-hour podcast, and then eventually they like hug it out and say that they love each other or something.
What?
Yeah, dude, you should watch it, man. It's fucking crazy.
That sounds crazy.
Like, I mean, we cannot hope for people to be so rational, to like just support it just because it's dope, you know. They have to like you to a certain degree, I guess.
Dude, I agree. And I think art, right? It's an emotional thing. It's an emotional response to a product. It being like any form, right, of your 5 senses lah.
Yeah.
So I do think that it's valid that everyone has an emotional attachment or feeling to it. So I can't force anyone into an emotional state. I'm sure I can. I'm sure in some ways. But I'm just saying, like, you know, with art, you just cannot force feed that lah. It's just you know, it's just what it is. And you know, when things are more natural and people can resonate with it naturally, that's where you actually can you can keep them around longer.
So when it comes to like music education, right? Like for example, you know, Singaporeans typically just like to hear the same shit every single day. Especially maybe in clubs where we are playing like probably to this day we're still playing Despacito.
Oh my god.
Yeah. So when it comes to music education, we also cannot force feed people, right? Like to introduce them to a new sound. So I don't know, like how do you go about it in your industry, like the live music kind of industry? Do you like premiere a new song in a different way, or how do you all go about it?
I think in this day and age, I know it can be quite obvious, but I think we kind of have to capture everyone's attention quickly, which is quickly. The cell, it's heck, it's even shorter than the elevator pitch now.
Oh yeah.
You know,
2-second pop scroll.
Yeah, everyone has the luxury to just curate their feed and ignore you, which is insane. It's shorter than elevator pitch, and I do think, I mean, it's a straight up correlation of why songs are shorter now, why there's very much less of an intro, getting the drop is quicker. Sometimes the drop starts first, the chorus starts first. So I do feel the sell now is to kind of capture the audience a lot more quicker. But of course, there are a lot more informed people as well, you know, who knows the stuff, their needs and their wants. So I think currently, I think to capture the majority of the public, I think I do need to make sure I sell the vibe and the mood fairly like fast, or rather distill that in its essence quickly and to the point, or rather just capture attention enough for you to engage with it.
What are some like strategies that you employ? Do you kind of like make every song sound like maybe like titanium, where the first note is really the thing, right? then people straight away 2 seconds they straight away know.
Yeah, so it's easy. So I think there are a few pillars, right? The songwriting.
Yeah.
So lyrical, harmony, which is like chord work, melody, the singing, or whatever lead instrument you choose. Lyrical.
Yeah.
And then in this modern day and age, texture, which is texture, like I hit this and I hit this, it's like a different thing, right? So like your snare sound, different snare, using a different material. So we can use all these different employ to introduce something different to them to capture their attention quick. So sometimes it can be like it could be ASMR, or it could be like found sounds that's like in time, or like Foley stuff in time, or it could be like a really hooky melody early in the beginning,
Right.
or like an interesting chord, or like a crazy drum fill. I don't know. So like, there's also groove, right? So 6. I don't know how many stuff I'm going on with lah.
5 or 6 lah.
Ish lah. So to introduce something interesting to capture their attention first, and then to make them to retain them. So the way I see it is like, if you watch freaking Marvel Avengers, right? If I started the whole thing with like Thanos coming and just gone, like you lose the plot. It's completely not fun. Even if I give you the climax, you kind of have to show them the cool stuff and then build to
even cooler.
Yeah, and kind of retain them all the way to there. So I think it's kind of like that. So
the payoff must be the coolest thing. The intro is like the second coolest thing.
Yeah, I would say the hook, sell you, and then retain you long enough to
deliver.
Yeah, which I think is really fun. It's very, to me lah, that's the easiest way for me to kind of take you there. It's kind of like quite a little bit like a tension release, an emotional roller coaster ride, a dynamic roller coaster ride, a dynamic thing as well. So I would say that's the approach lah.
Yeah, you see this actually being employed not only in music but in people's video like Mr. Beast. They employ. It's actually technically the same thing, but then how you like translate from one genre to another.
The human condition is interesting. How people consume modern media. Very interesting.
Yeah. So let's go back to after poly, then now you go to uni, right?
Oh,
so how do you even get to like Berklee? It's like some like like Harvard of like music, man.
Right.
Yeah.
Dude, it's my dream lah. It's always been my dream because
after Singapore poly, then boom, straight away Berklee. Or you got like a 2-year gap or something. NS. Yeah.
NS was.
I forget that we are Singaporean.
I know. I know.
I also same.
I know.
Shit, man.
I know, but I was the coolest kid when I was in college because I could buy beer. I could drink.
Yeah. The only one of age.
Yeah, the only one of age. I'm the only one can go to bars. But okay, anyway,
it's crazy. Berklee, dude.
I know, and it's so fun. It's the dream, right? I mean, when I was a kid, like before I joined poly, like that was the dream. That was like where all my idols go. And I thought that was like the musical.
And all the DMAT people are talking about it also, your classmates, your peers.
Yeah, all of our, everyone we looked up to more or less go either to A-Mei in the west coast, or in the east coast it would be Berklee lah. At least for us lah, the straight up very obvious ones. And that was a crazy dream. I was just like, oh my god, it'd be crazy. Like I could be, in the same alumnus as these guys, and wow, I would just, that's a dream to work towards there. And it was insane that I managed with some of my friends to do it. I mean, it wasn't easy because we knew how much the school fee was. Like, dude, I can't remember. It's the estimate. I think 20 to 25,000 USD per semester.
Whoa! Then each year got 4 semester?
2 to 3. You can take the summer, but most people take the summer off. But us, no man, we go all the way. So 3 semesters.
75k per year.
USD,
4 year.
No, USD. Can you imagine?
300k USD.
Can you imagine? I would say the fastest you can graduate is around, 6 semesters thereabouts. So can you imagine the math? Then don't forget all the other expenditure that you have.
Wow. 6 semester, 350k. Oh shit.
So like I'm so lucky to have a scholarship from IMDA, so to pursue this. So that's crazy. But then also that's a different route because I approached at it from a production, as a producer standpoint, as an engineer standpoint. So that was a very interesting angle there. I was very lucky to have been supported at that point of time, which is insane. And of course, Berklee also gave us a little bit of achievement scholarship. So that managed to cover a most big bulk.
80%.
Yeah, 80-90%.
But how do you even get the scholarship though? Like you get the scholarship for your time in SP, right?
Oh, because while I was in SP, I was also working outside, doing all these additional stuff. Because I knew if I were to get a scholarship like that, I need to be ahead of the game.
Yes.
Or rather, I need to prove myself. Let's say, even though I might have similar skill sets, I do need to prove that these guys, I'm worth investing in. It's almost like a pitch, right? So I need to make the pitch easier. Make the incentive to show that, hey, I have it. And there are people that say I have it. So I just kind of worked outside, did other stuff like arrangements, production sessions.
Do for free.
Either for free or just shadow, the established people intern.
Wow.
Went around. So I was very lucky. But yeah, I just worked like a dog, man. Like just.
Would you say that is like a business mindset, kind of like a?
Oh, dude, I had zero business acumen back then. It's just like I was just like, okay, I need to get there. I need to be somewhat ahead of the game, or rather, I just need to be a little different so that they notice me. For me, and I think I need to work hard to get there, or else that's it, lah.
Yeah.
Because I told myself, when I took my PSLE, right? When I took PSLE, then to either poly or JC. I could have went to JC, not a great JC, but some
PSLE, then O levels, then JC poly, right? I think. Secondary school first, right?
Yeah, sorry. So what was after sec?
Secondary school is O level.
Okay, right. Sorry. So backtrack. So after O levels. After O levels.
Yeah.
My L1 R4, L1 R5, right? I think that was it.
Yeah.
I was might be possible for me to go to JC, not a great one.
Okay.
But I could also go to poly. And I think, for me, I took that gamble. And my parents gave me my blessing, but I told myself, like, if I could not succeed to do something for myself by then, I would go to uni lah and just do the traditional route.
After poly.
Yeah. So I was like, you know what? I have to make it a point to show, not just to myself, but also to everyone around me who supported me, that I'm worth investing in. So I really, really doubled down, like sleepless nights, non-stop. Like, when I first went into poly, I could not play drums, but there was only, I think, one other drummer there. And I was like, you know what, I'm just going to do it. And then by the end of it, I went to Berklee to audition as a drummer. Not a pianist, as a drummer. I was playing sessions. I think I played a musical. So like that helped. That helped to show that I was able to pick up stuff, diversify. All these terms I didn't know as a kid. I just like, I'm just gonna hustle.
There's the movie called Whiplash or something, right?
Not like that lah.
How accurate is that? Can you tell that is he really off?
Yes, you can tell. There are moments where you can pick up where some guy is rushing
actually play. In the movie.
I haven't heard them. I haven't watched it in a long while, so I can't exactly remember. Yeah. But let's say you play in a band setting and someone is off, rushing or dragging, we can tell. At least in a setting lah. And actually, part of my job as band's music director, or sometimes even the Willows also, is to just be nagging at them with the mic.
Hey, too fast.
Yeah, too fast. Slow down. Hey, you, wait, what? So it's just
walk some more.
I just get paid to scold people, which is great. Thank you for this job, Ben. Keep me.
Yeah. You clearly your dynamic with Ben is like, you're like a piece in the same pot, It's
Dude,
like the same.
it's so fun. And we only managed to build this because we managed to grow with each other through the Willows lah. So it's damn fun.
But like, oftentimes, like a successful relationship, right, is like one person is like the organized one, and one person is like the more serendipitous one, So who is who? Are you the more planned one? I guess you're the planned one, right? Then he's the freestyle.
Yeah. I guess I just kind of put a little bit of structure into his stuff. Not that he doesn't, but I think it allows him to be more creative. And then I'll be somewhat of the sergeant, but funny lah. Like we handle it a lot more jovial way, but we will still. I'm more the sergeant, and then he's the guy that knows that. Hey,
but the artists have to be like that to get the craziest, most unique ideas, right?
Yeah.
And then as the producer, whatever you can square away for him, that to allow him to be more free, right? Wow, then you've done your job already.
That's our job. Exactly.
That is our job, man.
Spot on, spot on. That's it. That really is it.
So Berklee, how many years you spent there? Like 3 years?
2.5. I took one summer off, so 2.5 years. I think I stayed there for 3, a little bit longer. Just cut my teeth there a little bit. Studied. So I graduated professional music, a degree in professional music. Most of my curriculum was in arrangement and electronic production lah. Dude, back then it was so geeky. Not that cool yet. Back then was the early beginnings of Titanium by David Guetta.
Okay.
So like back then I was like sitting in like a basement.
Recreate it.
Yeah, and also I was a massive FM8. I was just like creating saw waves, and the other guys like, hey, fucking nerd. You know, then I was like, no, there's something.
It's gonna be big, man.
That's the thing. Everyone was going towards arrangement. I mean, generally lah. I'm not saying everyone, but most of them will go towards the arrangement, scoring.
Within that school lah.
I'll say the Singaporeans would tend to go towards there. I got made fun of. I got made fun of constantly. Like when I first went to school, I did not have a great musician year. Like, you know, for year training, you hear the pitch, chord,
relative perfect or whatever.
There are 4 levels to it. I got to STU. I got to the level 2. Most of them were 3 or 4, which is the final one.
What's the levels like? What's the
you just had to hear different things. So for example, they play a note or a scale. They're like, okay, it's this mode, is this scale, is this chord. It could be not just like your major, minor, but like, you know, dominant flat 7. Dominant is flat 7, dominant flat 9, sharp 11. You know, that kind of a thing. And it gets more complex as the levels go higher. Right. So most during my cohort, most of the Singaporeans were there at 3 or 4, which is insane. Whoa. And I don't have that year lah, so I have 2 lah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah lah, it got made fun of. I lost my keys, you know, to my home, and they say like, oh, yeah, because he doesn't have, you know, he cannot hear the key. That's why. And like, what? And I was like,
what the hell?
I was like,
a bunch of like primary 3 students.
No. I mean, they were friends, and they still are. They're great. But I was just like, wow, damn pain, ow. But I mean, we still recall and laugh about it to this day. We are still friends, still great friends. But
that is fucking crazy.
But dude, that revelation like got me to realize like, okay, maybe it's not my strength. That's why I lean towards electronic production, because in the past, when in Berklee or just in other schools, right, when I whatever schools or hanging out with my friends, they would ask me, what do you think this is? And I was like, oh, it's actually this and that, and I'll be able to like bump and I'll create the patch, like the synth patch. And people are like, hey, how do you create that? I say, oh, okay, is this sawtooth with this? And like, you know, it's made out of this harmonic, and the ADSR is like that. Or
break down the electronic sounds into signal.
Yeah, I can recreate
wow, shit.
fairly accurately and quite quickly. Yeah. Or sometimes I'm able to do certain ideas once I hear, like, you know, like maybe drums or whatever. So I realized
sound design type shit.
Yeah, so I realized that's my strength. And how do I say this? My God-given, my passion is one thing, but if you believe it or not, your God-given gift is another. So like if I were to do music in Singapore, and I realized this when I was practicing like you know, drums in these little practice rooms. I can practice so hard, right, for 4 hours, right? My friend, fellow classmate who comes in there, practice for 15 minutes, nearly just like that. And this is me and my peak musicianship.
Yeah.
Practicing every day, right?
They're monsters, man, living among us.
But
crazy.
I can see my ceiling, not even glassing, my ceiling is there. But for this skill set, it's so much, like I can't even see. Like there's so much potential. I'm able to dial it in. I was like, okay, if I want to come back and make this a living, I need to be able to play to that, you know? Go towards where water flows smooth, whatever it is, right?
Yeah,
so
I feel you.
Yeah, so I decided to lean towards that, and that's why I went towards that. Just so happens, a few years in when I came back, then, you know, electronic music or like a pop having electronic production elements.
Lady Gaga thingy.
Yeah, came in. Then I was like, oh man, I was lucky lah. So I caught on the wave, and that's why I'm still lucky to be here today lah. Crazy, right? There's a lot of factors that you cannot predict. There's a lot of luck, but also like part of it is gut feel. So like I anticipated this would happen, lean into it.
But would you say that like for example, if you didn't get that scholarship to Berklee, right, would you have given up already?
I would have probably pursued like one of the local or like just maybe the Southeast
NAFA or
Asian.
something.
Yeah, one of those lah.
Oh.
Yeah, because the grades were not bad, but I think I would have probably went for that,
Right.
but I wouldn't have been content. Yeah.
But how does like Berklee look like? I'm like quite like curious because is there only one course, like everybody's just doing music there, or like bunch of other things?
I mean, it's definitely music. Everyone that just has different majors and different main instruments. So the different majors could be, I'm just gonna prattle on and I might forget. So there's performance, film scoring, they call it CWP, which is basically like a contemporary writing production, which is arrangement.
Yeah.
There's EPD, electronic production design. There's professional music, where it's just a mix. You can mix, pick and choose. And I believe there's MPD, which is MPD is something like a audio engineer course, sound engineer course, and there's a few more others. So with that, these different courses, you need to of course clear certain courses to get these majors, right? And on top of these majors, you have to clear a certain level of musicianship in your instrument of choice. So for example, if you're a performance major, you need to have a higher level clearance as compared to maybe a engineer or a electronic musician.
Or because you're the front man,
Yeah. Yeah, you're actually performing.
Yeah.
But as for maybe someone in the production side, you need to understand the music, but you don't need to have so chopped out.
Like film scoring.
I think I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I need to go check, but I mean, I am graduated with a 3 or 4, level 3 or 4. But for some of my other friends, could be like 5 or 6.
For the musicianship.
Yeah.
So your instrument of choice is drums.
Yeah. I at least I pick drums there lah.
Then what about keys? Do you like kind of like give it up already, or it's like more like passive?
I mean, I still play it, I still use it, I still find passion for it. But I felt like, okay, because I was in Singapore, right? This was like so regimental, right? Like you must get this cert. I feel like now when I
do you actually get a cert?
I did. I was a grade 8.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay,
so
your parents will be proud.
Yeah,
Asian parents.
Yay, Mama, do you proud? Yeah, but like, so I got it barely, but I got it.
Okay.
So like, okay, so I went through this regimental thing, right, to get, and I'm afraid that I changed it to. So that regimental style. I mean, I love my piano teacher. She's great. She got me to who I am. But because of that upbringing, I wanted to go back and find my love for it naturally. So I don't want to go back into a college curriculum where it's like you have to clock in like this practice. I'm just gonna love my piano for what it is.
Yeah, when you feel, then you play.
Yeah, which is cool because now in my live sets, I mean, I have this like Ableton push thing, but on top of that, next I have a drum set, and right next to my drum set is the key, so I'll go back and forth.
Whoa!
Yeah, so it's pretty cool. So now I get to blend both worlds together, which is crazy.
Ableton push. Do you recently see this DJ producer Fred again?
Oh, crazy!
I think he's been in the scene for so long already, right? But just behind the scenes. Yeah. That's like next level. It's like the moment he came out, right, and he's like exploded, right, and people is like, hey, overnight success, but it's not actually.
The guy hustled, and I think it's just like it could be so many factors, right, when it comes to success. And I think it's great because he really has the chops to back it up. But I think at the right moment, the right time, he was able to find the right song, the right sample to capture that vibe, and he really leaned into it, man. I'm so happy for him. It's crazy what he does with the crowd, man.
It's like from the classical background and then to electronic. Do you like kind of like you?
I guess, yeah. But I mean, I look up to him. Zed also, which is a crazy pianist.
Yeah.
Who managed to like convert what he knows as a classical-ish influenced pianist into his productions. It's just like, see, we can blend worlds together. We can break out of it and make it our own. I mean, even Skrillex came from a hardcore band background. And then made his own thing, made his own sound. So to me, like, having these different schools of thought makes it damn interesting. So I love that. And I love that when I was in school, what I bought wasn't, yes, it was the knowledge and the know-how, but I feel the best thing I ever bought there was time and the experience, man. Because like I got to share all these stories with every musician around the world. You throw a brick in Boylston Street and you see you hit a capable musician with a different story to tell.
Yeah.
And it's crazy, and you get to live all these perspectives, hear what music means to them, the way they play. And I'm like, that's nuts, and I won't get to experience that as much here, maybe as much as we are a multicultural place, right? But like this is that international schools, the amount of people, the amount of languages, the amount of influences, upbringing, cultures, music. Oh my god! Like when I played my recital, mine was an electronic recital naturally with live instruments. But before that, there was a metal show. Then after that, there was a jazz show, and then my show.
Super technical, though.
Yeah, and the thing is, there are bleed overs. There are some people that stay for all three. And that's so beautiful. That's crazy. And then we have a beer after that. It's great. Or have a pizza party. That's the fun. That's so incredible. And to me, like these experiences, these stories, really made me laugh. Like I think sure the knowledge is great. I know I'm super appreciative of that. But oh my god, the time I spent, the time I bought, and the experiences I got just by spending and making music with these people made me who I am. It's so fun, dude. Like, it's crazy.
Imagine you take a photo with like Wu-Tang Clan and Skrillex and Zed, right? And then like the photo, you know, the meme is like, hey, this is how my Spotify playlist looks like. Then everybody is like different.
Dude, it's crazy. Can you imagine? Like, I mean, Nathan's 1 year behind me, Nathan Hartono, and I think
in DMAT.
Berklee. In Berklee, and I believe you can ask him this.
Shit, I need to talk to him, man.
Yeah, dude, like
Connect us.
I believe sure. And he used to sing BV for one of Charlie Puth's songs. And he was a schoolmate.
What the fuck? Damn.
Yeah. And I mean, Nathan knew him more, and it was crazy.
Charlie Puth is like so bloody hands on his own social media thing. It's like he can show that you can do social media in a credible way. That's so crazy. Everybody
with good musicianship, good production,
good musicianship. Everybody is thinking like, marketing is so cringe, but it's like essential, man.
Yeah. I mean, there's also Ben who does farts and it's great you know? His farts does well than all his other songs. Ben, you're doing great.
What the fuck?
I know he doesn't want to do it anymore but do more, man. I enjoy your farts.
Hey, honestly, the sketches are so good. I'm like putting that 2023 accents on replay. You know, the Ben Z project. Dude, that's crazy, man.
Dude, it takes a sensibility that
it is still art.
Yeah, it is. It takes I think it takes a lot of tact and sensibility to capture that tickle that funny bone, but still have a very smart perspective and quip on it. Oh, that's his specialty, man.
Yeah, correct. Because I think some people, they try to be funny or they try to capture attention, right? But then they come off as like cringe, you know.
I know.
Yeah, which is like what Ben and I, we were like discussing about like over milking certain things. Yeah, that's the thing. So and I guess like he's like doing it right in a sense that he never like over milk it. And then it's like, okay, when it's funny, okay, then move on. Yeah. So you don't look like you're trying too hard. Then it somehow feels effortless.
Yeah, I do feel that audiences love authenticity, lah. So I think that's what a bunch of the artists we love bring to the table. It's real.
Yeah, and you say that, right? Like you throw a brick, right, and then you can hit any musician there, right? Yeah, I really like remember so many people telling me like in overseas, right? Wow, everybody is like doing something special, like not your typical job, like overseas. Is it easier to make a living overseas? But then to follow up that question is that there's also even more talent out there.
Dude, yeah, that's the thing.
How like that?
I do think the competition is tougher overseas, man. Like, dude, like when I left poly, I thought I was like, oh man, I was doing pretty well in school. I should be quite alright when I went in there. I went to college and I sucked ass, man. I was so bad. Everyone like kicked my ass. I was like, oh my god, I'm a fish, not even a big fish, just a fish in a pond, man. I was like, oh my god, very 井底之蛙. So like, wow. So I do think yes, I think there's a lot more competition overseas and there are a lot more people. But I do think that creates this culture of innovation and healthy competition, right? That allowed me to be in this headspace where I just tap into something incredible, right? And experiences, because you can call on these different people for different ideas, different collaborations, and I think that brings you this different this worldly perspective, or this like sensitivity and empathy for more people. And I think that, and once you have that kind of worldview, that kind of sensitivity, you're able to write, compose, produce in a more like a more wholesome way. Or more you can just capture the vibe better and put it simply. So I think that's really cool, and that allows you to innovate in a lot of ways that I think, you know, sometimes I do feel I personally am too like sometimes complacent or comfortable here. So I always like it's great that some of these guys or even these young cats in Singapore put me in my place. I suck, and that's great.
Yeah.
I don't want to be the smartest in the room.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You should get into a new room then if you're the smartest in the room, right?
Yeah,
You
exactly.
change the room.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but I think especially in like our Asian culture, right, we are like so criticism adverse, you know, like you cannot say this person, you know, they don't like you, right? But whereas in overseas, right, it's like, hey, you suck, man. Or if you fail, right, the crowd will like literally boo you, right? You know, like overseas is like really like very, especially in the West,
expressive,
right?
like
Yeah, and they're very open also. And they're like, okay, boo me, then I'll become better. So the next time I prove you wrong, right? So it brings me back to this like podcast you did with the guy Ted or something, the one that how do you tell someone when they suck?
Oh my god, yeah.
Wow, damn difficult, yeah.
Dude, no, but that one was our job as A&Rs. Both Tad and I are currently A&Rs at Warner and him at Sony. Sony RCA, I believe. Yeah.
What's RCA?
It's a label that they have like in China.
Sony and Sony RCA is two different.
Oh no, they're affiliates. So yeah, but basically Tad's in Sony, I'm in Warner lah.
Oh, okay.
Anyway,
you're still in Warner now.
Yeah.
Okay.
And yeah, so I think for us, I think we were just having a live stream and we are just chatting about, how do we bring the news to people.
Yeah.
And I think it's great because like as an Asian, I do like my upbringing, right? I'm so afraid of like handling bad feedback. But I realized that anyway that sensitivity allows us to kind of we know how to navigate it a little bit better. We also understand that we requires an authentic relationship with people.
Yeah.
So I think that really, in conclusion, over those few chats, that was what we felt was it lah. Keep it real, keep it honest. Not to break your ego, but it's just to serve your music, serve you.
Right.
Because as a song, we as entertainers are serving people, right?
Yeah.
We're delivering a vibe. It could be escapism, it could be venting whatsoever. But that's the whole point of music.
Would it be more effective if like you tell the person that they suck, right? But then you give like how it can be better, like a solution also?
Yeah, I would say that would be great, but only if they're receptive to feedback. Because sometimes some people are not ready for it. Yeah, they are already closed off when you first reach the topic, and it's not something that you want to further like prod at it when they're not ready. So I think it's something that you need to develop time or develop a relationship for you to create that transparency and honesty. So I would say if I can shoot straight, I always do. But if they're not ready for it, I will hold off till they are, or in a situation where it's safe to talk about it.
I like it when the guy say that I don't usually give constructive feedback anymore. I don't give feedback. It's like no point, until they ask for it, then I will give it, because it really takes a lot of like you need to connect lah. Because I think art is really like an extension of yourself.
Dude, yeah.
And it's like you are insulting the person if you're like scolding the art, It kind of low key feels that way, I guess.
Dude, yeah, you're pouring hours of like not just hours, it could be years, right? Because it's all the cumulative practice, right? Into that few minutes, Can you imagine? Like for us, the song these few minutes, these few hours, this set. I can imagine why it can be so precious to you. So I mean, I do try to communicate that if you need me to talk about this, I am there. But this is currently what I have. So usually I'll try to read the room, but that's usually the vibe lah.
So once you came back from Berklee, you straight away got the A&R job, or you did other gigs first?
Oh yeah, man, nah. That was like, oh my gosh, has it been 10 years?
Process,
yeah, dude, I think almost a decade. Oh my god, I'm old, man, shit. Anyway, almost.
You can see the light flash past.
Dude, I have white hair already. Anyway, like I think it really has been 10 years. Almost 10. Anyway, I came back. I think TLDR. I mean, of course, did part-time jobs, arranging, producing, engineering, recording. Started, by usual, because I love teaching. So I was several instances teacher, lecturer.
Like in SP.
Yeah, and some other schools, Soma and the like. Was it Soma? Soma, right? So and some other like secondary schools, primary schools. But I always made sure that that my main focus was, my goal was to grow myself as a music producer, and I needed to make sure that my priority is to make sure, yes, and this is important because a lot of people do not think this is do think it's a little bit differently, but anyway, this is my perspective. I know it's a segue, but should you be going all out towards your passion, towards what you love as a full-time living, or do it part-time? For me, my take is, especially in here, right, in Singapore, I'm gonna work at my passion part-time till the demand is undeniably that this is about time for me to move on, to transit. That I did.
Same.
But thank goodness that I think a lot for all of us right here, that we are able to kind of have this, like, we are able to have this kind of like a Venn diagram, similar skill sets to what we are practicing, that we can somewhat like have transferable skills. So it's not so much far off from our real practice. So thank goodness I was that. So yeah, back to it. Yeah, that's my belief anyway. But take what you will.
Yeah, realistic. More realistic.
It has to be, because the cost of living here is, I won't say high, but it's very realistic.
We're number ones, yeah.
Yeah. Are we one? Yeah. Shit, dude. Oh my god.
Last year was like Tel Aviv, but like I think it's maybe just inflation. We are truly number one.
We're higher than Tokyo.
Tokyo and us keep fighting. Switch.
Damn. Can they win, please?
Win. Standard of living number one. Yes.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Yeah, oh damn. So see, we have to be practical. Yeah. Practical with our passions. So that we can manage our funds to invest in our passion and our time and money. But anyway, founded a music production house with John Truff and the Sembelos. Zendo, yeah, that's right. So first started with that. It was just a small, humble place. Expanded it once we acquired Beep Studios to become a music agency and a production. So on. Then we became a label. But after that, I left. Did my own thing. That's a very quick summary, but in the meantime, I was, again, music director for the Willows. I was producing, also music directing Inch, doing a bunch of stuff, doing concerts, touring here and there. But I think eventually I felt, it was a transition of my life. I was gonna leave the company, do my own thing. Thought it was a smart move. Boom, COVID. And I was like,
oh shit.
Yeah,
but you couldn't have predicted it.
Couldn't have predicted it.
But you did quite a few good predictions before COVID.
I did.
Your Berklee thing, the electronic music thing, the drumming thing.
So
God need to nerf you a bit. You're too right already too many times. You're right too many times.
So that, at that moment, I was again very lucky. During those few months, I was blessed with writing what people mostly know for me now in the local scene is they got me to write the Road Ahead. So the Road Ahead, the National Day song.
National Day.
So yeah, so typically for the National Day songs, you have we usually start in earnest after the previous National Day.
So like August 9 and September, right? The next year.
Probably end August, early September, start the concept already. So I was very lucky, while I was getting my bearings together, I was offered the chance to. But that's also because over the years, in 2018, that's where I first started co-producing Charlie Lim's National Day song with him and Dr. Sinita. So over the years, I learned a little bit. Then I was very lucky to be able to do that in late 2020, then 2021 . So since then, after that year, I think after that year, then I guess that followed with the tour with A-Mei. I think did a few theater shows with Inch, and then Ben did some shows with Ben, a few songs, as usual.
Yeah.
And then I think eventually the job at Warner. So now that's why I'm here as a regional A&R.
Wow, in between so many things happens,
dude, it's insane. You wouldn't.
So many things,
I was very lucky, dude. But I've been nerfed a lot, but I've been nerfed quite a bit,
So, did Nathan did 1 year National Day?
Yes.
Right.
2020.
Dude, I remember that year, right, when Nathan was up, right? I thought it was a pretty good song. And then, right, all my cousins, right, baby cousins, right, they're like, oh, Nathan, I don't know. They go and touch the screen and then his face. We are damn excited. But then the next day, then we see the social media comments. It's opposite of the what we felt. And then I think I've also read several interviews about yourself saying that, hey, National Day song, don't look at the comments, don't look at the comments. But why do you felt like, wow, shit? It's like a damn scary thing to do, lah. Because Singaporeans are like not kind, man.
I was framing it the other way. I think it's our pastime to criticize.
Yeah.
I think I think it's a great thing because I think we are very honest people, and I think it's great that I hear the opinions of people.
Finally translate to an open society,
Yeah,
rather than like traditionalists.
Dude, I would rather people tell it to my face, and I think it's great. And I think that's one of the best things that we have, and it's a double-edged sword, lah. And I think it's great. But of course, I knew that I can't please everyone. There's no way I could. And I think, even starting at 2018 and getting a little bit of that, experiencing a bit of that, good and bad, I was like, okay, so if I want to best be authentic with any song I write, for that matter, I just need to do what I can, what I know best. As much as I could. So I was like, okay, I'm just gonna try to ignore most of that and just do my thing, and that's it. Yeah.
Wow.
That's why.
And then when it comes to like writing the National Day song, or like your countless rehearsals, right, for like a potential show, right, all these like times that you spend are not essentially compensated. They compensate you after you hand them over the product. Is that something like that?
For the songs, there are several different ways, lah, right? Be it with royalties, or like could be 15%, blah blah blah. But typically, the final leg of the payment happens when you hand in the master of the track. So
do you start then you're like, okay, today we start, right? Okay, give you 50% first. Then after then you end, then give you 50%, something like that.
It depends. It varies, and I wish I could give a concrete answer to most people, but it varies with each customer, each client. But usually, most of the bulk comes at the end, I would say. Rehearsals, different. So, for example, if a live shows, sometimes we are paid per rehearsal.
Oh.
So on top of our usual fee, our performance fee, there's also like if we tour, there's a per diem. But each rehearsal, there's also a fee for the musicians.
But then how you know how many rehearsals you need to take to sing the themes?
So it takes a good music director to know, okay, I have a sensing that this musician can catch on. And like, okay, I think he can pick it on within this 1 or 2 rehearsals, and this is what I'm going to work on.
Oh.
Yeah.
Also, so the music director will like basically quote the price like that for the whole entire...
Oh yeah, I can give an estimate. And sometimes we need to plus 1 or 2 rehearsals, but usually it's more or less there, I would say. Yeah.
So the rehearsal fee that they pay you will cover the rental of the studio plus each member the time compensate your time basically.
I mean, it works in different ways. Sometimes the organizer, the management will pay the musicians direct, or sometimes the music director will pay various ways
Okay.
I've experienced it in myriad ways. Sometimes I pay, sometimes the management pays, sometimes the artist pays.
Wow.
Depends on the management, depends on the...
Okay. The budget also. Some shows is like super glamorous and good for the branding to perform, but then the budget might not be a lot. Then maybe another arrangement. Yeah.
It varies. It's very varied. So man. It's different.
Yeah, with like so much at stake like picking up to write the National Day song. What was that like process like? Or was it like a no-brainer? Like, hey, this year I want to like express myself. Boom.
I think it was that. Like, because since 2018, leading up to 2021, I have been helping Dr. Sinitan. He was the music director for all those years. It's pretty cool, man. And I think I got to experience it, and I think TLDR is I felt like this year maybe I had something to say. I felt like maybe I want to give a different approach. I want to try something interesting, which I think Dr. Sydney was super supportive of and very encouraging, very insistent actually that I stay true to who I was in it. That I decided to give it a shot, and I just so happens that I was just having sushi with Lin Ying, I think afterwards. I was like, hey, what'd be cool? Do you think you might be down? And I think we were eating uni and uni sushi. I had the picture of the sushi, man. Then then Lin was like, I know this place is great, uni, and we were hanging out, we were eating and catching up. And he was like, I'll be down. And it was very interesting, and I was very glad that throughout it all, it became something.
But did it take very long, the composition process?
Oh, the initial demo took quite we finished quite quickly. It was a verse and chorus, and it was just verse. It was from the verse to the first chorus, first verse, first chorus, and it was Lin and me on the piano. Then that's it. That one was stayed quite true to what it was.
Like 1 month.
No, the first for a week, a few weeks, and after that,
Damn, like September, give already.
Yeah. I think and then after that, subsequently, I think we did finish it rather quickly. The first chunk, like we go in the session, whack a few hours out, like just that, just hammer. That's a demo lah, and we sent it. That was fairly quick, but the subsequent processes, like changes, the additions,
You get new artists, collaborators.
so on. Did take a while lah. So it did take all the way till I can't remember exactly, but it was a few months lah.
Oh, right.
Yeah. It was a few months that led up to the final product. So after the usual lah, your lyrics, your melody, then you record, you mix, you master. There's a lot of stuff involved, and back and forth approval process as well. So
yeah, I realized that in this when I first heard it, right, back when it was just released, wow, when the chorus come, right, wow, my hair stands. Yeah, it's like, holy shit, this is damn bloody good. And it's like, normally when we were talking about like producing a track, right, then at the start we will like kind of like create that hook to lure people in, right. This song has none of that. It's just like come in gradually, then the chorus, bam, then it's like hit you, and then it's like it feels like it's not salesy. It's really like you're just trying to express yourself. And I think so pure.
I think it's also because I think Lin Ying is a fantastic singer-songwriter and also a producer. I mean, we co-write and co-produced it, and it's amazing. And I think it's also because we have, I think as fellow musicians and friends, we have like experienced working with each other in several situations, and I think we understand each other in different ways. That I think Lin Ying is great at filling up those spaces as well. And of course, I think it's my job to just say whether that's a hook, not a hook. And I think it's one of the things we tried to stay true is to be authentic. Like we have to be honest about it. One of the things was like, hey, we don't use the word Singapore. And they were like, yeah, okay. Don't use the word Singapore. And I was like, okay, can. So the rhyme
for of Malaysia.
I don't know. So you cannot use the word Singapore. Naturally, that rhyme, maybe the rhyme scheme gonna use more or something. I don't know. But like, I think that was one of the things like, if we don't use okay, we challenge ourselves.
But is there anything that like the committee or the NDP board is like, okay, you cannot write about? Do they specifically tell you, or you just like auto?
I think they gave us a brief. They gave us like certain things, but it's basically along the theme of the slogan of the year lah, which usually on the album art or the logo you will know what the theme is. So that's mostly it, the theme, and a quick brief about it. Certain ideas that will lead up to the song. So it's more or less what you hear lah. So it wasn't something they specifically did not want us to say, but more like just kind of adhere to the theme a little bit. I think, and it's also great that I think usually it was the music director that fought for us. Like, okay, this is great because this will fill your so stuff like that, where I think Dr. Sidney Tan was very good at dealing. So
he's communicating with
committee,
and the committee is usually the government body.
It's quite a big group of people lah that consists of, I think, the NDP committee, which is I believe it's the military people that different military companies like each year I think they rotate, and also a bunch of creatives that are involved as well lah, which is quite a big group lah, quite a big company.
Yeah, and certain times they want to be a little bit more safe with like certain wording or whatever, then they say cannot, but then like the music director kind of like fight for it. Is that the case?
Oh yeah, or vice versa. There's always some pushback, some feedback, but it's always in good faith lah. Everyone just wants something real, something to do well, something maybe not do well as like not like
a banger.
Yeah, they don't go out saying that we need like a Grammy nominated hit, but it's more like,
can you imagine?
I don't know, but it could be. But it's more like everyone is just working towards a common goal of making sure this thing does well. So I get where everyone's head is at, and everyone of course has different motivations and different things that they need to make sure to run smoothly, which I understand.
Is there like people that write the National Day song multiple times?
Oh yeah. Recently, the past few years, Don Richmond.
Tom Richmond.
Then
It's my
Dick Lee.
neighbors, yeah, holy shit.
What? That's
Apparently,
crazy.
Yeah, but we never met. But then Lenef told me about it. I'm like, hey, he stayed one block down here.
Yeah. Shout out Lenef. Yeah, he's involved. Made some beats, I believe. Dick Lee, naturally.
Oh yeah.
There's a few other people. Joshua Wan, who also wrote some crazy stuff.
Mm.
And also believe Jeremy Montero, one of the local jazz legends, to have written a few. So I think it's incredible, lah. So yeah, there are some repeats and very good classics that people have kept on.
Yeah, correct.
Pretty cool.
I guess they also want to stick with people that they are familiar with, and then once in a while they'll bring in a new face. Yeah, to switch it up.
So I'm lucky. I'm really grateful that Sydney kind of gave me a chance.
Yeah,
it's crazy. Just this kid, right? Making pop beats, funny stuff with my friends, and then here we are. It's just like, what?
Yeah, so another thing that I oftentimes ask in this podcast is that when you like earn a living, right, as a musician, right, is it like a monthly salary thing, or like there's a high season and a low season? Yeah, is it more like ad hoc?
It is quite a fluctuation. It's quite a bit of an ebb and flow. Like right now in a corporate setting as Warner's A&R, of course it's stable, but for almost a majority of my life, it has been unstable. It's been unstable. It has been fluctuating. Right. But I think one of the best things that has taught me is my expenses, and I think it's budgeting, and of course, over the years, you know how much your expenditure is. What is for fun? What is for investment? Investment in your craft, and what's investment in saving for your future. So I think over the years, it has helped me, and I think a good chunk of it has just is also because of our fluctuating income that's actually taught me the discipline to be frugal at times, and also know when to let go and actually spend when I need to. Because a lot of the times, we go either way. Either way.
No good gauge, so you also.
Yeah, and I think it helped over years. Of course, I made mistakes. Of course, I have done stupid spends. Bought something that's a bit too shiny or too cool, or spent on something a little bit too cheap when I could invest in more. But I think over the years, I made enough mistakes to know, and actually was ready to take advice from people, so that I could, I'm going to learn from you, take some learnings from you, and learn to manage my income. So I think it's really important to kind of, average out your income over a year and then see how much you should actually spend and draw. I know it's very literal right now. It's very obvious woke salary man things, but then it is the truth.
In the heat of the moment, so hard to.
Yeah, and the 50-20, was it 50-20-30 rule or something thereonabouts is something quite good to go by. I can't remember what exactly the metrics
50 spend, 30 wants, needs, wants, and savings.
Thereabouts lah, which I think is a great rule to follow. Basically, my rule is just try to save up at least 50% of your income.
And then I think as a guy, most of your expenditure is just food only. Food really take up most of it already.
Yeah, food, gear. Gear or game?
Game,
Food, gear.
Or G. F, G, 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 G.
Food is. Is there a food that starts with G?
Glutinous rice.
Glutinous rice. Oh my god.
Oh my guy.
But yeah, you're right. It's okay. We are quite frugal by
And then
nature.
now eventually regional label manager A&R. Did you like kind of climb out the ranks, or you got like recommended that post? How did that happen?
I wanted to take a shot at it actually. In the middle of the tour, I saw the job opening.
Yep.
And dude, like for me, I ran an indie label, and I was part of a label as an artist, as evanturetime. So I was like, okay, that's interesting to know how the indie works. I roughly also, having worked with some of the major labels as a producer, roughly have an idea on how these things roll. But I was like, I want to be in it and really understand like where the money flows, how these major labels support S-tier artists. So like, and I saw that opportunity. I was like, and just what happened, I have a few friends at Warner. So I mean, I didn't ask for an inside road. I just say, can you direct me to who I should send my resume to, which they did. And then, yeah, I was just like, just try my luck. And I was lucky to have done so. So it was great. Dude, learned a lot. It's very interesting to see all these different, artists, even sometimes at their highest peak, at their highest moment of success, still so humble and so nice. And it's really great to see. Like, at where moments everything aligns, right? The star aligns, and you see those successes happen for artists, you're so happy.
Yeah,
so happy.
because there's a huge team behind it, and everybody's grinding their ass off for the
Dude.
release,
Dude, yeah. And I think it's great when there are genuine people in there who actually loves music and they just come together to do that. It's insane. Yeah. And I mean, I have a lot of respect for a lot of their jobs.
Yeah.
Last time in the past, when you were indie, sometimes you were more or less like you're everything. You're everything on your own, like content, media, editor, everything. This one now you have a team who are specialists at their thing, and they are spending their whole 9 to 5 on these guys. Oh my god, pretty crazy.
Especially when you say indie, right? There is so many cases where indie musicians are like demonizing the label lah. It's very, very often, right? Like, for example, you talk about Russ or you talk about like DJ like James Hype. They believe in like 100% indie because like the record label is like taking like 80% of your money or something like that. But then the thing is, like upon joining the record label as label manager in A&R, and last time you were indie also, right? You kind of see both sides of the spectrum, right? And then I think you also speaking to Tat a little bit about it, like, oh, why the artists be like, hey, why so little money go to me? But the money is like flowing to so many places, Yeah, so how would you like explain it to an like indie artist that like how a label works and like people are not technically being shortchanged or people are being shortchanged?
Wow, that's a complex question, and I wish I understand why everyone feels that way.
Yeah.
But I also understand why the label works the way it is, and I think just to think overarchingly, the game of any major label, or maybe almost or some labels also as well, is about catalog, master ownership of the songs, and they're giving you advances to it. It's basically an investment for in you to create songs that they can monetize by owning it, so that they can sell it in different formats. And this is not just it's any other label.
So they give you like a maybe like a 100K advance, and then they hope to recoup it within the next 10 years, something like that.
The slider, the fader varies. Like the range varies, but more or less that's the game. To own the masters to a song so that they can monetize it to sell. It's not because they want to take everything for themselves.
To pay everybody.
Yeah, there are a lot, as you can tell, there's a lot of people involved. There are a lot of hits involved. There are a lot of specialists involved. And I understand that. But I also understand that as an indie, if you can do this all on your own, you can get
100%.
Yeah, on a majority share.
Yeah.
So it's really up to you on how comfortable are you in letting go of the master ownership of the song. Yeah. So to me, at least personally for me as an artist, to me that's my major concern. So I think at least for me, that's what I might be concerned with. But I also do understand why it can be very difficult, because it's you sometimes don't see the returns of it very quickly sometimes. And it takes a while. Like any relationship also, it takes a while to develop, and it takes a while to get a flow, a workflow, a system, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. So I can understand that it can be quite painful. So I think there are different schools of thoughts into this, but I also do think there are certain artists that work well within the system, and some work well within the indie, or sometimes in different formats. So I do think it's not a one size fits all situation. I wouldn't recommend everyone to be indie. I wouldn't recommend everyone to be signed. It's just depending on your appetite and your certain preferences. So really, that's that.
But if you're indie, you have to be more well-rounded because you have to do everything yourself. Is that the case?
I no insult to you. I do think that might be overgeneralizing it. I do think you need to be a little bit more hands-on. just because typically,
Right.
at least from my experience, there are lesser heads involved, so you just kind of have to be hands on. But that also allows you to be a lot more quicker
Oh yeah,
and
yeah,
respond
yeah,
a
yeah,
lot more
yeah.
faster, which I think is the beauty of it. You
Yeah,
can
yeah.
have a lot more fun with it, a lot more creativity. The approval process could be typically quicker, allows you to express yourself a lot more
And you
faster.
can like make more mistakes and then learn what the crowd wants or something like that.
Could be, yeah.
Yeah.
I would think it's just a smaller organization. You can be a lot more mobile and lean.
Yeah. Whereas a big organization, you get all the specialists, and then you can, if you don't know something, you can ask. But also, is there a case where, like, for example, if you look at like 88 Rising or something like that, they only have like a rich Chigger, like a Rich Brian one, and Higher Brothers that is like making them majority of the money, and then maybe they are signing like a ton of other artists, right, which is like probably not as successful as them. Would you say that it they will average out the P&L across all the artists? That's also that's also how it affects the way they how to say like distribute the money.
I don't. Okay, I think the payouts for the artists definitely are separate. Definitely. I mean, it won't be fair if I like let's say I make more money than someone, and then I just and then they split up the share or whatsoever, right? I don't think it's fair. So I don't think that would be the case. Most likely that won't be the case. But I'm sure, like any investment,
Yeah.
if you take it as like a monetary investment into somebody's creative act, right? If you think about it like that, there's of course different stuff in the different stuff in the green, different things that might be in the red, and average out.
Yeah, okay, I thought of a way how to phrase it really. Like for example, if you think about like a 360 deal or whatever deal, right? It is like 80-20, like 80% the record label, like 20% artist. Like typically that like what we have seen. Some of them even say it's like 90-10. But the majority, 80% is to the label, 20% is to the artist, right? That 80%, right? Is it to like cover for the fact that, like for example, if I need to invest in 100 artists, right? But maybe there's only like one Taylor Swift and one Drake, and then the rest is just like not that popping. Is that to like kind of like offset for the number of people that I'm supporting?
Oh no, I don't think so. Not at all.
Right.
I think at least personally for me, it's the way I see it. I mean, even when I was signed to my own indie label, I think it's a very clear justification. It's really because if they were to give me an advance, then of course they're gonna take some time to recoup the money. At least for me, when I was an artist, right? If they were to give me an advance,
Yeah.
I do need to make back my returns. I need to get some returns, ma.
Yeah.
So I do need to
Correct.
make sure I need to get that point first, and then we can start to talk about the rest. I think. So I think that's that, and I don't think it's to use to offset the. I mean, I don't know. It can work it can work differently for everyone else.
Right. Yeah, because I'm just thinking about like what the business model for a record label is like, and how do like majors like stay in the game for like 100 years or something.
I mean, because they have all the majors have a crazy catalog.
Yeah.
They have a crazy amount of hit songs under their belt. I think I think Universal has Taylor, right?
But now Taylor is like trying to fight for her indie or something, right? Re-recording her whole album.
Oh, right. And maybe okay, maybe I might be wrong, but I think basically, and every major label has a strong set of hit songs that is able to generate them income, be it through royalties, brand sync, blah blah blah. So I think over the years when they have acquired these massive amount of stuff, I think it's of course substantial.
Yeah.
And we're not talking about like something that's a local favorite. Yeah, something's like international hit, global hit, and that's a lot of money. So I do think that's something. That's why they're able to sustain themselves, lah.
Then let's stand on the label's side. Let's be on the label side, right? And think about like, for example, Taylor's case, right? Like for example, the label like built her right to the point where she is, right? And then do you think the label feel like she's very like 忘恩负义, like very like
I don't
ungrateful,
know, man.
Hey, walao, we make you big already, then now you zhao.
No lah, I don't know, and I can't speak for them, right? I'm not Taylor, but
no, because I'm seeing like both sides, like.
Oh, I get you.
Yeah.
I think it takes two hands to clap that, because like I think it takes both parties to run in parallel with each other and not drag each other down to be able to reach this level of fame. Because like I mean, there's so many factors that could get in the way.
Yeah.
You know, someone posting late, or maybe our song, I decide because I need to sit back with the song and feel a little bit more and change certain things. The release timeline and you move back, that might affect a bunch of things. I don't know. There's so many other factors. And dude, I do think generally that we need all of us need to run in parallel and not like be dragging one person at least in the mud lah. To make sure we all run to make sure all of us get to makan cari makan together in a very healthy way. And I've seen, I mean, of course there are great situations and of course also not ideal situations where people it's just not for them.
But I mean, like, for now, right now we are talking about like the cari makan level kind of income, right? But when you reach like Drake, Taylor, right? Wow, that's like some different kind of money, you know.
That sounds insane.
And it's not even like, oh, I'm taking enough just for me to survive. It's like I taking because based on my self-worth or my worth, you know, that kind of thing. And then there will be like a disagreement. I think I'm worth this much, but the label don't think that I'm worth this much. And
I mean, I'm sure at that level there would be room for negotiation, I think. When you have that kind of pull, I would think
maybe hey, your people talk to my people, that kind of thing.
I don't know. I'm not at that level, man. I'm just like this one guy doing music, man. I don't know.
But yeah, I think it's very interesting because it's like if people can better understand this, right, then they can choose if they want to be indie or they want to be signed. And then if people have more clear knowledge of this, right, then making money in music wouldn't be so difficult. Then our parents can stop demonizing this craft, you know.
I do think though this knowledge is readily available online. We do need to do a bit of searching and do a bit of research, but especially the age of the internet, right? The way how we as artists generate income and how the support system and the ecosystem around us makes money and takes their cut. It's actually very transparent. It's actually fairly readily available for all of us to access. So actually, if we do a little bit of homework and understand where we sit in this space, it's actually quite easy to figure out what to do, or rather, what's your strengths and then how much to lean towards it, or how much you want to be your own thing, leaning towards trends.
Everything is inside the contract, lah. You know, if you don't really understand, then you get a lawyer friend to like interpret it for you, and then it's super clear cut.
I mean, sure, the contract too, but also like how everyone functions in the game. And how you might how your work or how your relationship with all the other roles and responsibility in this ecosystem flows around you. It's actually quite straightforward and it's nothing hidden nowadays. Mostly it's very right there.
Age of the internet.
Yeah, it
Information
is.
accessibility.
I swear. I swear. If you do a Google, you'll be able to find it. And you would know. I think once with just careful calculation, you can actually decide what works best for you at this stage in time.
Actually, I saw one hip hop artist, I forget who the hell is it, Nate Dogg or something. I forget already, but they said that, right? All of you think that indie is the best, right? But let's just say indie, you make 100%, but it's a small amount. Then if you're a signed artist, you make 20%, but it's like a 20% of a super huge amount. Maybe the 20% is more than the 100%, you know, something like that.
Yeah, but it's very subjective, dude, right? Like, because like, different levels of, risk adversity, right? Like, it's not like insurance agent, no, but then like it's, different levels of fame as well, and different people at different stages of their life see different levels. Like they see success differently. So I can't say this for everyone, and I wish I could give you a direct answer on like what's good, what's bad, what's great. But honestly,
if it's so straightforward, everybody already knows.
It's a mixed bag. And it's very different. So it's really entirely up to the artist. Like, hey, you guys decide what you want. See what you do. I mean, to me as an artist, if I am armed with this kind of knowledge now, I wish I would admit I would have done things differently. Not say sign of a major, but let's say would I have
at different stage of your life do different things lah.
Yeah, I would have done an approach differently, write a song differently, maybe market it differently, or something. I don't know.
But okay, now you know already.
Now I know. But now too old already, lot white hair, very tired already.
Cannot sit through a 3-hour A-Mei concert.
Yeah, tired already. My back pain. My back pain. Oh my god.
If you comms them, hey, can you give me 5-minute break? 5-minute break.
You do yoga in the middle of the.
Yeah, and when you eventually get a job as A&R, right? Maybe we can talk a little bit about like A&R in just a minute lah. But then the thing is, you get monthly income. But then the thing is, you also your time that you have to the time that you have to give to the company is it kind of like takes you away from composing music or producing music, right? Yeah, would you say that that is like a good trade-off?
Oh, dude, I like the trade-off, and I knew what I was getting into. I love the trade-off. Why? Because I think for a long time in my life, this was everything. And I know this as a freelancer, right? Because every time you take on a job, you never know whether it's your last one or whether you never know. Like, okay, shit, the next lull's coming. I'm probably gonna make I'm probably gonna maybe this time is coming where this month I'm not gonna make a lot really based on
danger.
And I always have this constant anxiety. And now when this is a job, when I come back into my studio or my room, I pick up an instrument. Like this is purely because I love doing it.
Freedom.
Yeah, I'm doing it because I am having fun. And to me, that headspace is, I love that. Like to me, it's like, okay, I'm coming here because I made a choice to do it. Yeah. I'm writing with a friend because I love to do it. Yeah. And to me, that's such a pure thing again. And I mean, I love this headspace. And I think also because the company is very encouraging of me, of course, honing my skills outside also lah. So I think I'm very grateful for that.
Yeah.
So yeah, to me, I actually like the headspace. It does require more energy, but if you love the job, it doesn't feel like working.
Yeah, so. which reminds me of like MediaCorp Indigo. Indigo is like a very unique radio station where the radio DJs are actually musicians.
Yeah. It's the coolest thing, man.
And many people don't know that most radio DJs are not actual DJs. They're more like hosts and announcers,
Right.
Yeah, and there's like a music director at the back. But then like Indigo is different, everybody there's a DJ and a host, like they have their own like genre, like the
I see.
Omar Kenobi, he's like the hip hop guy.
Right.
And he actually has his own hip hop thing going on. Yeah, so I think like if the label is like so supportive of your musical endeavor, it's kind of a win for them also. Yeah, because if your own staff are all music people, right, then you can like communicate better with the artists.
Yeah, but shout out to Joakim also, 97. That guy is a great singer.
Yeah, Joakim is also another crazy
monster.
Next level. Yeah.
But I do agree, having a bit of that coincide, the same similar skill set, same kind of year approach. Does help. So I think it's pretty cool. And I'm very happy to be in this headspace.
So what does like an A&R typically do?
I think, it's a really great job. And I think I'm very grateful that I have it because it's really a blend of different skill sets.
Yep.
The way I see it, you have to discover, either work with existing talent or discover new talent.
Yep.
And of course, that's artists, and then repertoire, and make great songs for them. And I think that's the sum of our jobs.
So you don't involve in the composition, the production. You are like finding the right people.
Right? Yes. So find the right people to bring out the best in your artist, to bring out the vision of your artist. And I think just because it's perfect, because I am trained, I have cut my teeth doing this. Yeah. So I of course worked with different musicians, different engineers, different producers, co-wrote with people.
Yep.
I am able to know what is best suited. And as a music director, as when they perform on stage, I can advise. So I think it's a dream come true. And I think it's really fun because I get to like, hey man, you want to come and like try out this? I call a friend like, bro, you want to come do this? Hey, you want to do an album art? You want to do a music video? You want to play the guitar for this? And it's really fun. And I get to not just locally, I am able to help all of my friends who are capable musicians. Right, as a regional A&R, I'm able to help bring them meet them different people, bring different opportunities to elevate all these capable talent to more people to know that, hey, these guys are great. And of course, check out this artist, this guy's crazy. So like, it's really fun.
Are you in charge in like the final QC? Like, does this make the cut or not?
It's a democratic thing lah. It's not like I tell you, you must pick this song, means this song. No, like, it's usually an open convo.
So it's like A&R with the artist lah.
Yeah.
Is there like somebody higher up that you also need to like?
I got my straight up like my boss, my line manager, whoever I need to answer to lah. But
okay,
usually they give us freedom
Okay.
to have an open conversation with our group of trusted people, whoever it might be. It could be just me and the artist, it could be whoever. But usually it's an open convo between us and the artist to see what works. And then of course we plan, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Pretty fun to put a song together. And yeah, to see it all done together with the whole kampong is pretty cool, man.
Yeah, and you already have such a huge repertoire of working with and for other people, right? What about your own project like Adventure Time? Yeah, I see that they are like far and few, man. But the drops are super unique every single time when you
Thanks,
do
man.
it. Yeah.
Thanks, dude.
Yeah.
It's that Artist Adventure Time came as a very weird mistake. Or it came as a very weird happy accident, dude. Because it first came when I was actually playing with Inch. And dude, what was this small club that's near the old Zouk? And next to it is a small room in Zouk. The old Zouk.
Oh, Jakim.
Is it Velvet?
Oh, yeah, Velvet.
Velvet.
But there's
something.
two Velvet. There's Velvet Dance and Velvet Lounge. Yeah, Velvet Lounge is like the more sit down and listen to like
I believe it's a dance.
music.
There's a DJ booth there.
Oh, yeah.
So it was there. Like back then, Lush was around.
Yeah.
And Inch was playing, and I was on the push. And it's like, hey man, you're playing at Zouk. You need a moniker. And I was like, oh, dude. And I don't care. To me, it's just like I'm sessioning for you. I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
But Inch is like, because my Instagram tag, it's Adventure Time. And then she just put Adventure Time, and it stuck. It stuck, and then it just so happens I have a few songs. And when that thing stuck, when people say, "Oh, you're Adventure Time," I was like, "Oh, I guess I am." I had a few songs, and just so happens because I've been arranging, producing for people for all my life. I'm like, you know what? I have not discovered who I am as an artist. I discovered what it means for other people.
Bring out the best in them.
Yeah.
Bring out.
I try lah. Yeah. I fail sometimes, but most of the time I hope I did right.
Yeah.
But then then I was like, you know what? Let me just try. So it just became a thing. I just put songs that I felt I did for fun. That I felt like, it's a bit off tangent, but it's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Pula. And so somehow it did okay. And I was like, oh shit, it's doing quite cool. Doing this random shit that people actually listen.
Yeah, no KPI, no restrictions, no obligation. Just do it just because I want it.
Yeah, just because I want to like do this, do that. I want to put a stick in a song. I'm just gonna do it. You know, that kind of thing. I want to put this random ass idea in a song. Do it. There was this whole song that made out of a beer bottle. I don't know why. It's just because. And then I mean that one didn't do too well. But some of the other songs was pretty interesting. Did fairly decently, and it meant a lot to me that people cared. And it meant a lot to me that every time I do weird shit, people like, cool man, I'll listen to it. And that's more than enough. I don't need a million streams. I don't need like a gazillion streams. I'm just glad that somehow somebody somewhere resonated with it, and that's more than enough. That's the whole point of music anyway.
Adventure Time opening set for A-Mei, and then like
oh yeah, no. Too weird. My shit is too weird, dude. Like it's all like no.
Yeah, but eventually you increase your catalog, and then maybe one day
a catalog of weird shit.
maybe
catalog of stick sounds. I don't know, man.
Hey, who knows, man? Like even dubstep became a thing,
Dude.
And dubstep is like a mash of so many things.
Yeah,
meme music.
Dude, it's crazy. And it's so crazy that with the evolution of new technology, new developments in creating, be it production or new instrument whatsoever, right?
Yeah.
Creates a new genre.
Yeah.
And also I realized a little tempo, texture, and the invention of new technology ties so intrinsically to a genre.
Yeah,
which is so cool.
Yeah. Like tempo changes a genre so many times in the DJ world that I lost count already.
Right?
Yeah.
Speed up. I mean, of course, I'm saying it like a very bad generalization, but if you speed up dubstep from 140 to 160, it could almost feel like jungle drum and bass.
Yeah.
Close-ish.
Yeah. Double time hip hop become drum and bass.
Could be, yeah.
Could be. Yeah.
So it's pretty interesting. So yeah, it's a cool thought.
Yeah,
But really, it's just for fun lah. This whole Adventure Time.
Yeah, and of course, there's so many other collaborators that we haven't even discussed yet lah.
We can discuss.
Like Lei, Marian, Carmel. Marian, actually, right? I saw her on a TikTok live. I was like, hey, quite interesting. Let me watch, right? And then, wow, the vocal is like, whoa, thick, insane, not even forced, effortless. Wow. Yeah, I normally don't comment on people's shit, but like, yo, dude, singing is like freaking out this
Dude,
world,
her
man.
voice is nuts, man. Just like wow. She has really put in the hours, man. Put in hours.
Like
really
no
good
words,
stuff.
man. Like no words, dude. It's like
And a great songwriter. Like this, whenever I hear, it's just like, Evan, what do you think about this?
Batter.
Yeah, I just pumped and the song's done. I was like, crazy, you're so good. Stop it.
Yeah.
Go tour the world or something. So good, so good.
Yeah. So, who are some up and coming artists that you would like to maybe give a shout out?
Yeah, I think I think Marian definitely has a crazy touch, great voice, and the way she sings is amazing. The stuff she sings about is insane. I think Lei Yi, is a fantastic R&B singer from Australia. So when she sings, oh my gosh, like it's quite something, man. And another, I mean, I really love Yao.
Yao, yeah.
Yeah,
managed by Really, right? If I'm not wrong.
Yeah, I think so. I think he's distributed by Believe. I mean, I think so. My memory could be wrong.
Yeah.
But my memory could prove me wrong. But I think he produces his own songs most of the time. And he also, I mean, produces and writes his own song, which is crazy.
Yeah, I think last week I saw him on the Spotify banner or something.
Yeah,
dude.
So in the pop
happenings, yeah.
Yeah, so in the pop world, there's Shy, which is crazy.
Shy on MP3, yeah.
Yeah, breaking down barriers. So I think in the pop scene, those guys are crazy, really great stuff. I've been listening to his band called NKEI. Really nice, really good stuff as well. So I think, this local scene, lot to offer, man.
Super long ago, I think I was speaking to Charlie Lim, and then I was like, why the live music scene in Singapore never really merge with the EDM scene in Singapore?
That'd be crazy, yeah.
That'd be crazy, right?
I mean, there's some stuff that happens in silos. I mean, I still remember fondly. I believe it's K, right? That usually when he DJs, he also plays on the Iwi, which is like nuts,
dude. Yeah.
And I think there's some new things happening now. So this rapper called Kali, Khally, she DJs, but also raps. Freestyles on top of the beat that she DJs. Insane. So to me, there are some worlds that are kind of blending now, coming up, and this new young generation doing crazy stuff.
Yeah. When I was DJing at Zouk, and then we eventually moved from Chakim to Clarke Quay, right? Our head DJ Jeremy Boone was insisting that the early hours of Capital, which is the second floor, right? The opening set has to be kind of vibey, more instrumentalist kind of house music, so that K can come on board and freestyle on the thing. Early hours all the way to 12 or 12:30, something like that. Wow, and then it brings a whole new dynamic. The first time when I was working with K, right, I didn't have the concept of how to space out my mixes to include a musician, right? So it was so fucking horrible. I got scolded I'm dude, I'm a DJ, man. I don't know anything about working with other people.
I understand, yeah.
And then after 2, 3, 4 weeks, right, then I'm oh shit, I realized I don't have to do everything myself. There are moments where you need to let the instrument shine, and then there's a time the instrument will come and be your backing, and then that's when you come up,
So cool.
Yeah.
There's a convo, it's kind of like conversation.
Yeah, and I think wow, it's such a rare opportunity that if anyone can have the opportunity, wow, dude, they will realize, oh shit, there's so many things within this musical space that
right.
Yeah,
it's really cool idea. It's a conversation, and we need to learn when to sit back and let the guy lead, which is also takes a lot of maturity, which is really cool.
Yeah. Correct. If you're just doing everything right, then you will just wear out, and then the show wouldn't be that perfect anymore.
Yeah, man.
So maybe we can kind of end off with what are the next few steps for the rest of the year? What are you pursuing?
I will be on tour with A-Mei again. Come May till I think so far.
May.
A-Mei in May, oh my god!
Dude, A-Mei is okay, I want to tour now, boom, then it can happen. It doesn't need to have a particular time of the year, right?
Oh no, I mean, I'm sure the production team have planned a lot ahead of time.
Oh, okay.
So it's it's definitely planned way ahead of time. So I think we have it till next year, dude.
Huh? Wait, from May all the way to next year?
I mean, it's spaced out for sure, but I think from what I know, we're gonna be still around for a bit. I'll be also doing a few shows in Wan Hong, so I think it'll be fun. And a few songs coming up this year. So
damn, I think your Chinese is gonna improve, man, by quite a lot. Everyday Chinese lessons.
Dude, man, more than Feng He you know it, man. That's what's going on. More than Feng He Gotta bust out those Chinese, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and another thing, right, is that back when we were younger, right, we were so like low key, like Singaporeans kind of look down on like Chinese, speaking Chinese, and then now eventually it becomes more multicultural. Like individual countries become more like how do you say it? Like more represent in a way. Like, you know, like you look at the Grammys, right? All the Bad Bunny, Puerto Rican, Spanish song all start to come up, you know.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Brazilian come in. Yeah, so it's more cultural now. It's more acceptable to be cultural.
Yes.
Do you think that now it's like English songs like taking over the world, right? But will it switch to like,
dude,
yeah,
the switch is already happening, and it's very clear. There's even in the global charts, right? Used to be hip hop's on the rise, but now country, even like Bad Bunny, like Spanish music, rock is also on the rise already. And I mean, it's clearly charting and it's clearly doing well. And there's also, I think, just looking around the vicinity in Southeast Asia, a lot of our local compatriots in our countries, right? Just our friends.
Individual country charts.
Yeah, our individual
Right.
and their own local artists, local songs are clearly having a lot more attention and doing a lot more better than before, holding a lot more weight.
Yeah.
And it's clear, and it's been clear. If you look up online the statistics, right, it is clear that it's on the rise. So I do think that celebrating our own culture, our own sound, it's on the rise. It's really clearly on the rise, and it's gonna be. It looks like the trend is there will be more. So I think it's great. It's just going back to our roots, being who we are, which is cool. We don't need to try to be anyone else or try to be somebody else. We just need to find who we intrinsically are, our experiences are.
But on the flip side, do you think that there will be like more division? That means like, okay, for example, our top 10 songs, right, it's all from our country. Eventually, like maybe 10 years later.
I hope so, man.
Then Africa, their top 10 songs all from Africa. Indonesia, their top 10 songs all from Indonesia. Then we don't know each other. You get what I mean? Whereas now it's like all top 10, all Taylor Swift. I know Taylor Swift, you also know Taylor Swift, something like that. Right or not?
I don't think it's going to be all going to be a domestic owned market in any way, because I do think we are very open to, especially I think at least for our country and for many a lot, we are very open to any cool shit, and usually a lot of cool stuff, any fresh ideas. Sometimes it does not always come from one place.
From anywhere.
Yeah, and it's very clear. The Spanish, Korean, Mando, English are in the top charts. So I don't think it's ever going to be a very homogeneous kind of thing. It's not going to be everyone totalitarian thing. Clearly, when Taylor, Coldplay actually comes to Singapore to do a show, they will of course take over the charts for a good amount of time.
Yes.
But I think generally in a typical week or day, I think it's actually quite varied. It's just because we as humans have different experiences and we resonate with it differently, which is cool.
Yeah.
Which is cool. I get to hear so many cool stuff all the time. And I think that's...
And it's good. Our attention span getting shorter means we can listen to more shit.
Yes.
That's how we make use of them. Short attention span, right? No problem.
More songs. I love it.
More songs, yeah.
More interesting stuff. It's great.
Yeah.
All the more merrier, and more songs on my Spotify.
I guess like artists will not be so genre locked anymore.
Oh, that makes it so cool.
Right.
You get to mix all these different beats, different production styles.
Skrillex do country. Let's go, man.
You never know, man. He might make country with like wobbles. I don't know. Might be crazy.
Country wobbles.
I mean, if you think about it, the lap steel guitar has a bit of tremolo. So
can also.
It could happen.
Yeah.
It could. So I think it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And I love genre bending. Sometimes it's so hard for me to identify a genre, what it is.
Maybe it's
really.
like Adventure Time featuring Wu-Tang Clan coming up soon.
Please.
Please.
I would love to. But yeah, it would be really cool. I mean, and it's great.
Yeah.
It is great, right? That people just sometimes, right? They don't even bother to identify a genre of the song. It's just a cool beat, a cool tune. Dude, have you checked out this song? It's cool. Just that.
Yeah. Another thing I saw, right, is Fresh Feelings Enterprise. What's that, yeah? Can we talk about that?
Oh my god! That is
what the hell? That's the official company name.
Yes, that's the name of my sole proprietor, my LLP.
Yeah.
I needed to put a name after I left Sendo. And I just put it under the song I wrote with Ben during COVID.
Fresh Feelings.
Fresh Feelings, yeah. I thought it was kind of funny. I was like, sounds kind of cool as a company name. Hey Ben, can I? He's like, yeah, can. Okay. I was just trying to come up with a name because I was like, Accra. I was like, no idea. Yeah, I just made it. Yeah, I was like, okay lah, producing this song, okay lah, just put there. And it's like, okay, clear. Okay. It really is it. And it's kind of nice because it's kind of based out of a song I did with Ben anyway.
Yeah.
And we did it.
What's the services like for that company?
It's really just music production and music directing, what I do. Just music production and directing shows. That's it.
Right. It's like your website, and then you can choose the service.
Oh, I mean, I don't even put my company name. It's just like, your invoice. This is the thing, the detail.
Like a more professional, a bit sent to a.
I mean, it's sent to that company, but it's my company, and I don't want to put Evando Music because that's like. It's very
poly level.
I want branding, make it just to make things fun, a little fun for me.
Yeah.
But my friends friends said that I had a cooler name, which should have been Adventure Cove. Like Sentosa like that. Like Sentosa like that. I was like, no lah, they'll sue me, yeah. I was like, no.
But Adventure Time is also a show, right? It's like but it's like the alternate spelling, I guess.
Yeah, I guess it's a play on words. It's not as if I'm dressing as Jake when I go perform, you know. So
yeah.
So I guess that's all right.
Okay.
Yeah,
man.
Cartoon.
All right. So I think that's it, man. So maybe any last things you want to like tell our audience before we end this off?
I don't know, man. This was fun. Thanks for having me. I love talking cock. This is great.
Yeah, I was like thinking like maybe next year, if we got time, we can like eat dinner, mukbang, then put Ben Kheng at one side.
Dude, we are
be fucking crazy, bro.
Dude, when we are off work, we are a problem, man.
Yeah.
It's just cavemen.
Because I see like Joe Rogan, right? They all do podcasts. It's like they literally just eat on the podcast and they like 3 or 4 hours. They just talk cock lah.
Dude, I think also that's kind of like it kind of it's like a social. It kind of breaks the social barrier. It's like a glue.
Yeah.
It's almost like it's a social lubricant because it's like you're doing a task and when you break bad people, it's a social communal thing. Yeah. So I think it could kind of
maybe
make things a bit more
eat,
casual.
Then if finish can play jigsaw puzzle, 1,000 piece jigsaw puzzle, and then we talk cock.
Dude, yeah.
Okay, then we got the top down cam to see our performance. The completing already. That means the podcast ending.
Holler at your boy, man. I'm down, man. Okay, this will be fun. I think, and Ben's a riot.
Maybe just get some non-soju alcohol next time.
Just give me whiskey or wine. I'm down, bro. But he's fun.
Okay, great. Fun. Thank you so much.
Dude, thanks for having me.